having some issues at training when Craig's been umpiring training. He's been favouring the Irish players because that's his team coming up for this one.
Fair enough,
but it is good. Darren Crocker, obviously the head coach of the Australian team, they've got 6 players playing, or 5 now because Emma Carney had to pull out, but they've got a big contingent as well. No surprise, they're the 2-time reigning premiers.
So Jazzy Garner, captain of Australia.
Correct.
Orla O'Dwyer, captain of the Irish.
Correct. So the fun fact about Orla, the reason she's captain is because she was actually born in Sydney and then moved to Ireland and grew up there. So she kind of has a foot in both camps, so it's kind of her home away from home, essentially.
I never knew that.
No one did until 2 days ago.
Then Gemma wrote the story.
And these are some of the stories that do come out in the lead up to this match. Hopefully they get a big crowd. Hopefully it gets good television coverage, and it's the start of something special. Thanks, Gem.
Thank you. I'll see you down on the boundary.
Gemma Bastiati is going to make her way down to the boundary, part of our team on this Sunday afternoon on ABC Sport. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron to call the action. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy, your experts, as the Kangas make their way out onto Docklands. 8 wins and 10 losses. They've lost their last 3. Including last week. They couldn't quite match it with the Magpies and the Demons in the last 2. So much of the question around Alistair Clarkson has been, has the Kangas improved? Here's a little of what the North Melbourne coach said at his press conference during the week.
So the difficulty is we're disappointed that we haven't been able to convert some of those opportunities into goals and victories for us, but also pleased that we're much more competitive than what we were this time last year, for instance. So we're competing with these sides, and as I said, Collingwood and Melbourne are both looking like they're going to be challenging at the pointy end, and in both those games we've shown them at different stages that we're a really formidable opponent. So another challenge this week against St Kilda, similar sort of position to us and the Melbournes and the Collingwoods, and clogging up that middle part of the ladder, hoping to get into the top 6 or 7 or 8 sides in the competition. And another significant challenge for us this week. They've been playing some really good footy, the Saints, and had a hiccup last week against the Cats down at the Cattery. But we've seen a lot of sides fall foul of the conditions and the oval down there. So we've got to prepare for the Saints' best, which has been pretty good over the last 6 or 8 weeks.
The thoughts of Alistair Clarkson and he and St Kilda and their similarities in terms of both sides being outside the top 10. The Saints are 10th at the moment, 8 wins and 10 losses, and who can take their chance to try and take that next step. So much of it has been linked around the fact that Alistair Clarkson is out of contract at the end of next season, and whether North Melbourne would want that stability heading into the final year, or whether they feel like maybe that pressure might bring the best out of him and the side as they try to take that next leap. How do you see North Melbourne at the moment and their prospects for this afternoon?
Well, I see them relatively positively. I talked before about the midfield, and I think that's a real opportunity for them to gain some ascendancy, gain some territory, and play the game in their half, which is, I'm sure, what they would design if they had the whiteboard out right now, or Alice Clarkson said before the game. I mean, forward half stuff's in terms of the key position. Nick Larkey's kicking's a bit of a concern, and he's got to get back on the horse if he wants to lead this team to more victories than not. But I'm relatively bullish about. I mean, Tristan Sherry and the Rucks are a super player for them. He gives them first look a lot of the time. I'm relatively bullish about what they can do. But the question, Bob, is coming off the back of 3 losses, can they do it for long enough? Are they good enough for long enough, the Kangas? That's always been my question.
That will be the big question mark today. And I'm not sure if St Kilda doesn't have a similar question mark on them. Yep. But we're probably more confident, aren't we? Yep. That St Kilda's got 4 quarters in them, and less so with North Melbourne. So we talk so much about development, don't we? And particularly with teams like North Melbourne. But I often think we leave out something really critical in development, and that is winning. Winning is part of the development, and having wins against clubs who are maybe not in your zone or punch a bit higher than you. And that elevates perhaps the belief within your own footy team and your own footy club. So I know there's only a couple of spots on the ladder between these two, but I think North Melbourne could claim today as a bit of a scalp. So at some point North Melbourne will win these games. Why not today? I hope that they truly believe that they belong out there today. I am really looking for them to start all guns blazing.
Nick Larkey's accuracy this season, thanks to Mitch Turner, 36 goals, 26, going at 58% accuracy, 2019 to 2025. 278 goals and 98 behinds, going at an accuracy of 73.94.
But I don't even know if that's factoring in out of bounds on the full, because he's had an awful lot of out of bounds on the full recently. So he's been worse than even just kicking behinds. He's been missing them wide.
So he was the guy you'd have for your life. Well, he was the one you would give the ball to for your life, Nick Larkey. And for whatever reason, it has gone Ian Baker Finch pear-shaped.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
He's been averaging 4 points.
And that is for those. I don't know much about golf. You know what? I've got a hard time with all the golf references in here. But when you say Ian Baker Finch pear-shaped, I know exactly what you mean. That's your worst nightmare, folks.
Not quite Greg Norman pear-shaped just yet. But,
that was.
He didn't have the yips. He just
averaging 4.5 shots on goal the last 5 weeks. For 1 goal.
1 out of 4.5.
Yep.
No, that's not ideal.
Yeah.
And some of those are relatively simple.
Is it a captaincy yips?
And that's the question, isn't it?
Well, you've been there. Could that be a factor, a legitimate factor?
Well,
you've got the ball in your hands kicking for goal. Why would captaincy come into it?
Well, my theory, part of my thinking with goal kicking is a lot of people talk about, the routine and how many steps you have. I worked with a psychologist that it was a lot about the self-talk and what you're saying to yourself when the pressure comes. And it's not hard for me to imagine that in such a drastic change of his role from being just a full forward who's a really good kick to then being a captain, of putting more responsibility, more weight. I need to kick this goal because of X, Y, Z, which is totally different to how he may have spoken to himself in his routine before that. So talk about subjective opinions. That I am delving into the depths of the shadows of Nick Larkey's mind.
Yeah, but you felt that.
But I can imagine that's a possibility.
Nick Larkey's having shots from about 30 metres out in front of goal.
Rowan Marshall.
Just Rowan Marshall here, Clinch. He's at the top of the 50, bending himself over, testing out his back, and he's got 3 or 4 physios around him. So he's come back out for this on-field warm-up, but he does not look in a good way. There are 3 docs inspecting him as he flexes at the hip, and now he's going for a little trot, and he looks like me running around the tan.
Yeah,
does he look back spasmy?
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah,
he certainly is. He's going for a ground ball there. Can't bend down. He can't. They've just rolled a ground ball at him.
He can't play.
One hand, and he can't play.
So there's going to be a second late change most likely here for St Kilda. They've already lost Cooper Sharman, and Dan Butler comes in. I wonder if Anthony Caminiti is somewhere nearby warming up, because the possibility that Rowan Marshall will be a late out here looks highly likely.
Spasm.
I'd love to.
We're about to get a second ground ball here. He looked like
that's moving at 1 mile an hour. Imagine trying to do that at pace with someone up your jumper.
Well, he's running a bit more freely now.
Yeah, he can run okay.
So Half and Bob, take us into the live call here. If you're coach and captain, what would you need to see to tick it off?
Well, I needed to see him be able to move at full pace, and pick up a ball,
which he's not at the moment.
Which he's not doing. So, if it's me, if I'm Ross Lyon, I'm saying get him off.
Ross is peering over at him. Now he's turned around to look at the board that's being brought over to him. Maybe about to flick the magnet away down the hallway, perhaps.
Yeah, there's Roscoe. He's pointing.
What about for you, Bob? If you're captain,
I'd be over there
running through the banner with him, and you go, he doesn't look quite right.
No, on what we're looking at right now, he hasn't taken his hands off his lower back. He's picking up the ground balls. So he looks like a 65-year-old picking up Lego for his grandkids when he's having to go up the ground.
He's walking off the ground right now. He's heading down to the race. So
Ross
I think
Lyon's
he's
just
done.
been told.
No.
Yeah, Ross has been told.
No good.
The board's over there. He's going to have a bit of a play with the magnet.
Corey Enright's giving him a little pat on the back to say, it's all right, mate. But
and Ross has just given him a thumbs up as he makes his way from Docklands. So Rowan Marshall is going to be a late out here.
Wow.
So that'll be a second player out, with Cooper Sharman also an out, and Dan Butler came in. Don't know if Gemma Bastiati's down on the boundary, but Gemma, are you there? Is Angus Hasty potentially the one who might come in?
When I was downstairs earlier, it was Angus Hasty that was warming up, so I'm keeping an eye out. But I would anticipate that with this change, it will more likely be Hasty, but leave it with me.
So Ross has just called the whole group in. He's addressing them right now at centre half forward. Basically, I would assume Half, you're the former coach, and Bob, former captain. saying to the group, look, Marshall's out, Hastie's coming in, TDK, 100% ruck, backed up by X. This is how it's going to look. Is that what's happening?
I imagine that's exactly what's happening. Right, Rowan hasn't pulled up well. He's out. We're going to make a late change. So this means this, and this. So TDK, you're going to have to do more. Whatever else structurally is. Look, he's looked pretty calm and relaxed, Ross, so he's in full control.
And that's what I would expect of a senior coach. And they go, hey, Rowan's out. We're a system team. And I know people...
Kamanides just come out, so...
He's got a hot dog, and he's finishing a hot dog, which is great news for him.
Well, that worked okay for Logan Morris, didn't it?
That's right.
Takeaway and then came out and played a career-best game, but it does pose the question for Tom De Koning. Saints fans will hope he's absolutely 100% right to go because he's going to carry so much more of the responsibility. I do like this on the SMS, 0437 774 774. And we said Rowan Marshall had concern around his back. It just comes through. Stretch it out.
What about Caminiti? Last week, Mitch Cleary asked Ross Lyon in the post-game presser. He said, look, Anthony Caminiti had a pretty rough night. Ross said, did he have a rough night? He said he had 2 touches. I said, yeah, it's a pretty rough night. And now he's got the late reprieve and he's back in. So... sometimes that's how life works. Maybe it'll be fortuitous for Anthony Caminiti and he'll perform today and hold his spot.
So the VFL played on Friday.
Yeah.
I think he was carried over.
He didn't play, yeah. He didn't play.
Bradley Hill has also run off down into the...
Not another one.
No physio, though.
But he was moving beautifully. Might be a toilet situation.
A pit stop?
It could be a pit stop. Yep.
Righto, we're on high alert to keep an eye on the Saints as they're warming up. North Melbourne are going through their preparation. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron to call the action. Gemma Bastiardi down on the boundary. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford, your experts for Sunday footy on ABC Sport. 2 outs for St Kilda, Rowan Marshall and Cooper Sharman. Dan Butler comes in. We're waiting for final confirmation as to who the player who will come in for Rowan Marshall. Tom De Koning returns after the rib injury and the punctured lung, so he'll be carrying the ruck responsibility for the Saints. And the return of Max King, we're all eagerly awaiting to see how he will handle that. It takes a bit of the pressure off him in the last 20 minutes, given that's what the majority of us would be talking about with his first game in 757 days. So we're all excited to see how Max King will go in return, having last featured in the VFL round 6 against the Blues. The 2 captains gather in the middle of Docklands, Cal Wilkie and Nick Larkey. So a chance to go back to Gemma Bastiardi on the boundary. Gem, it's a North Melbourne home game. Still plenty of free seats, though, at the moment.
It's very loud down here, but, yeah, there are plenty of seats available. North Melbourne's trying to pump it up. Clearly, they want to get off to a good start in this one. They have really challenged teams this year, and as Bob alluded to, they've had a couple of games where they should have really put the foot to the pedal, and they weren't able to do that. No doubt they'll be seeing this game as a chance to do that against the Saints team that needs to win to stay in touch with that top group.
Thanks, Jam. This is the 6th annual Spuds match for mental health and the work in which the Danny Frawley Centre does around mental health. And they had a press conference at the start of the week. There's so many questions as the players head out of position. How to North Melbourne try and quell Nasiah Wanganeen-Millera? How do the Kangas midfield try and dominate Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy? What's your prediction as to what we'll see at the full-time siren?
Well, my prediction is St Kilda win. And not by a huge margin. It might be a sneaky good game that Bob was talking about before. But my prediction is if they are half the team that they think they should be and we think they should win this game, from what we've seen on the sample size so far this year for the Kangaroos. But if I'm the Kangaroos, I'm thinking we can win it too. That's why I think it's a sneaky good game that Bob touches on. But if on the balance of probability, we're tipping St Kilda.
Max King will start on the bench. Bob, what's your prediction?
Yeah, I think a fierce agreement with Half. I would say St Kilda by 10 points.
Yep.
The final match of round 20 of the AFL. North Melbourne and St Kilda as the battle heats up for a wildcard spot in September. Here's Ben Cameron to get us underway.
Sherry and De Koning, neither decisive. Hugo Garcia bursts off with the footy, takes the advantage, gets rid of the handball. The kick goes deep inside 50. From Wilson towards Logue, punches it away, sweeping onto it. There is Higgins, gives it off to Burns, fires the shot on goal, and he's got it from deep in the pocket. Ryan Burns fires it through, and that is a dream start for St Kilda. If they were rattled with the late out of Rowan Marshall, they haven't showed it. 1 straight 6, plays no score. 25 seconds into the game, Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford.
Well, that's a ridiculous start to the game. That's exactly what it is. It was a nice work from the clearance. The Saints look in full charge there. It looks like O'Sullivan's going to go to Naz and try and keep him under check from a Kangaroos perspective. But Garcia getting involved early as the free kick was given away, and that was advantage rule. And Burns' finish was unbelievable.
It was a beautiful finish, but the Griffin Logue spoil, we talk about both sides of the body. He's a lefty. His inability to spoil that ball with his right hand to get it out of the danger zone really cost his team there.
Tom De Koning in his first game since round 15 wins down the tap against Sherry, gathered by Sheasel. O'Sullivan too slow, and Finn O'Sullivan's reeled in, holding the ball, and letting him know about it.
He's falling back there.
Boxall came in and crashed into him, and then his head went flying back. You wondered if there was a headbutt there, but I think Boxall was making sure the umpire saw it.
Yep.
I said it would be a bit edgy.
It did.
Yep.
So free kick going the way of the Saints. Boxall around the back, gives it to Nasiah Wangani Miller. Drives it inside 50 in the Mitch Owens direction. Spoiled away by Comben into the forward pocket. Higgins gets there first. Hand pass to Owens. Sidesteps an opponent. Hand pass to Hall. He missed his intended target in the pocket in Darcy Wilson, and the ball goes out of play as Caleb Daniel is tackled over the boundary line.
It's a really dynamic forward setup for the Saints at the moment. I mean, you've got Owens in there, Hall, Ryan, Higgins, Burns had obviously an impact early. They're really dynamic. They're on the move all the time. They've got great energy.
Higgins on Parker. He's just putting a fair bit of space between him. He's too fast.
St Kilda doing all of the early attacking. Sherry takes it out of the ruck, tumbles a kick up towards the wing. Spargo traps it. Handball away to O'Sullivan. Roos with it. Handball a turnover. Wilson takes it for the Saints. Dinks a little kick out to Burns on the bounce. Sweeps a handball to Hill. High half forward for the Saints. Looks inside 50. And Boxall, like Jonty Rhodes, he parried it up in the air and took it sprawling to ground. 20 metres out, 45-degree angle. He'll go back and kick for goal.
Well, it was a good thing Bradley Hill made his way off of that pit stop pre-game because he's lit up the Dockland Stadium in the early going here. That was class from Bradley Hill, sweeping around, found his man.
Hugh Boxall, 20 out, slides it through, and the Saints have jumped out of the gates. 2 goals in the opening 3 minutes. North yet to score. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy.
Well, it's the perfect start. They've moved the ball pretty well, defended pretty well. They've put a lot of pressure on the Kangas. They've tried to chain out, have their defensive 50, and that's obviously what gives them the look back inside. Bradley Hill's been a player we've seen a few times live in the last couple of weeks, and he's been a real driving force. A lot of the focus is on Naz, quite rightly, and what he does, but Bradley Hill's impact on this team is profound, I reckon, and he's continuing that with his class, his composure, and his execution there was brilliant.
Hugh Boxall looks like he's got the job on Luke Davies-Uniacke. Kicks an opening goal here to give St Kilda the momentum. First 2 goals of the match inside 3 minutes. And North Melbourne, well, they've had 4 touches so far for the game to North Melbourne's 13. Sherry beaten by De Koning, gets the clearance, kicks up inside 50. Higgins almost juggles the mark, not paid, spills down to the front. It's gathered by Wilson, sends along to the goal square. Ryan and Logue tangling. Logue makes the spoil, spills out towards Core, has to try and gather the footy. Higgins is lurking, can't reel it in. Gathered away by Darcy Wilson, half past 2 sharp in the end for Hall. The Kangas take it back. Caleb Daniel away to Stevens, game 100 for him. Links up with Harry Sheasel, right half back. Sends the Kangas high and long up the wing. In the end, it's De Koning who stood tall and takes the mark despite the efforts of Whitlock.
Gives it off to Hill, who goes infield to Naz. Wangani Malera, middle of the ground. Kicks up to half forward, can't find a target. Comben takes it back for North.
Not it.
Off to McKercher, kicks to the logo. Roos on the counter-attack. Spargo shorts it to Luke Davies-Uniacke. Gives it to McKercher, cruising by. Kick inside 50, poor. Wilkie marks.
Very poor. The 2 options, and the St Kilda opponent or defender in the middle of them.
Yeah, picked the third of 2 options, as Dennis Cometti used to say. Wilkie goes to Tom De Koning, who kicks it to Spargo inside 50, and Larkey leads up to mark for the Kangas. 40 out directly in front, immediately ruffles his hair, as is standard for him. He'll go back and kick for goal.
Well, he's a bit lucky the first time around there, Kel Wilkie, guarding 2 players. They kicked it straight to him, and then the turnover happened at half back, and he had no chance to defend the next one coming in, so he's probably even Stevens at the minute. So this is the moment, isn't it, for Nick Larkey?
This is a big kick.
He's had the yips, averaging 4.5 shots on goal the last 5 weeks for an average of 1 goal. Larkey misses left.
Directly in front again.
Lets them off the hook, 1 behind to begin for North. St Kilda 2 straight 12, 5.5 played. opening term Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Little man on the shoulder's got a megaphone.
There's not one key forward in the history of the game who will tell you that they feel okay after missing their first set shot.
36 goals, 27 for the North Melbourne captain this season. Nasai Wanganeen-Miller bounds his way out of half-back, but his kick is a turnover. Sheasel intercepts for the Roos. Looks into the middle of the ground. Has Paul Curtis. Half-pass to McKercher. Ball in motion. Looks up to the 50. Nice pass. Trembath marks.
Sullivan's on.
He looks up into the pocket. Players on the move. Whitlock can't take the mark. He had the mismatch on Brad Hill. And off hands, the ball goes out of play for a boundary thrown in the right forward pocket. So the Saints kick the opening 2 goals in 3 minutes. Cooper Sharman a late out, and then Rowan Marshall a late out as well, right before the team was about to take position. So it means Caminiti and Dan Butler are the 2 late ins for the Saints.
Umpire flings it in. Forward pocket here for North. Sherry lays it down. Garcia goes in. So too Mason Wood. And another ball up.
So I reckon when you've got a guy like O'Sullivan who's playing on Nasai Wanganeen-Miller, he's running inside forward 50, you've got to give it to him, just to get a little bit back on in the psychology game against Nas.
De Koning takes it out of the ruck, gets it moving forward, spits out to Silvani, back pocket to Stocker, away to Hill. He'll just go for a little amble. Crosses defensive 50, stops, props, caught by Curtis. Could be holding the ball, the umpire lets them play. Curtis rushes a kick inside 50, Tremba! Hands to it, paid the mark.
Gotta be.
He came flying in from the side, took the footy to ground, and he'll go back and kick for goal.
2-foot jumper too. 2-foot Cooper. That was nice. Came in from the side. Larky was the main focus of the defenders of the Saints, I think, at the time. And then he came in from the side and was able to just launch with his 2 feet and hold on to it long enough. Again, directly in front, 40 metres out, 35 metres out. This has to go through.
Playing ruck forward, more of a forward ruck, if you will. More time forward. 25 goals in 18 games this year. Still just 20 years of age. Cooper Trembath.
Yuck.
He flares it out to the right. So a couple of let-offs. 2 behinds to begin for North. 2 straight 12 St Kilda.
Would be airborne.
Saints by 10 points. 8 played opening term. Yips. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Yips could be airborne. Max King getting ready to come on.
Can it catch across the team?
Yes, it can.
Oh, yep. It can.
Wanganeen-Miller up, kick-in duties once more, sends it to the back pocket where the mark is taken by Mason Wood.
In fact, if you're a local player out there today at the venue listening, put a mask on just so you don't catch it. We'll take it back to your local club.
Have a listen to this half. Max King on the ground for the first time in 756 days at an AFL game. And the Saints have worked it to half forward.
The chance here.
Chance here.
Kick it to him.
To Wilson.
Oh, there he goes.
Ryan. King on the left. Can't take the mark. The numbers got back. Spoiled away by Simpkin. Ball at ground level. It spills out towards Max King. He's dragged down by Spargo. Simpkin gets it out for the Roos once more. Tight ball to E1. And in the end, Harvey was taken over the shoulder. And finally, the Roos get some relief. Mitch Owen just grabbing at a finger as Cooper Harvey, Boomer's boy, looks to swing it across the defensive goal face. And Core takes the mark. Has McKercher in the right back pocket for the Kangaroos. St Kilda by 10 points.
McKercher gives it to Harvey. Gets the handball out of the defensive 50. Away towards Goda. He gives it back towards Core, who hurries a kick to the wing.
Away.
Curtis Marks gives it to Stevens, cruising by. Kicks to half forward. Tremba. He'll give it back to Stevens. Now he kicks into the pocket for the Roos, and it's over the head of Larky. Out of bounds on the full.
What was wrong with the bloke 15 metres in front of him? Who was in front of him 15 metres when he kicked that ball? What were his teammates?
Might have been Whitlock.
It was Whitlock. Sitting there all by himself, running back to goal. Kick it to him.
Saints by 10 points, 9.5 treble.
Filippo sends it up to Liam Ryan, who takes the mark at right half back in front of Harvey. So Max King, the deepest target, with Comben alongside him. Core has Caminiti. As Ryan looks laterally, tries to wait a kick in the direction of Boxall, had to stand his ground. As Harry Sheasel crashed into him and he's able to hang on to the mark. Hands Filippo over the top, loops a kick to him at right half forward. He plays on away from Simpkin. Arcs out to his left, sends it towards the goal square. Butler got fingertips to it, can't take the mark. Free kick going North's way. Stevens took the advantage. Hand pass back to Coleman. Sends it out to Paul Curtis. Tries to reel in the one-handed mark in the right back pocket. He gathers and gets the hand pass away to Zurha. Sends a high kick up the wing. Larky and Silvani. Silvani in front. Larky beautifully nudges him underneath. Takes the mark. Wants to move it quickly. Kick partially smothered. And Winhager getting back will get there first. He gathers for St Kilda. Away to Hunter Clark, who sends it up the wing. And here's Cal Wicku, the captain.
Wilkie gets the handball moving forward to Wilson.
Slow to get up, Larky.
And was writhing in pain. Wilson kicks inside 50 for St Kilda. Caminiti's down there, driving the pack quickly as Wood gets a handball inside 50 towards King. Wanganeen Malira comes and helps out. Handball to himself, KB style. He couldn't. He snaps on goal. He absolutely couldn't, but he nearly did. Naz. He gave away a free kick. Anyway, did he?
No, just throw in.
No. Was touched on the way through. Goda got a hand on it, so a boundary throw in.
What a great dive
That
from
would have been
Silvani
something
before.
too, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's a Naz special. That's Silvani, just seeing a replay of Nick Larkey going down after Silvani got the touch on that ball trying to get inside forward 50. Looked pretty shabby there, big Nick Larkey.
Shallow throwing inside the forward 50 for the Saints. O'Sullivan hasn't dealt with it. It comes out to Ryan. Sidestep one, not the second. And the tackle laid by Luke Davies-Uniacke, who takes the free kick in the right back pocket for the Kangaroos.
They've found a way to get at the back a few times, the Kangas, so far. Ross Lyon wouldn't be overly wrapped about that.
Saints by 10 points. LDU sends it up the wing. Trimbath the target. Can't take the mark. Hunter Clark gathers. Reloads for the Saints inside 50. Caleb Daniels are loose. And he hugs it to the chest with the helmet on. Looks to switch into the back pocket where Goda marks. Sends it wider still to Jai Simpkin. The former captain at left half-back. St Kilda by 10 points. 2 straight 12. The Kangaroos 2 behinds. Nick Larkey's had a couple of shots on goal. Aidan Kaur takes the mark. Tries to centre. And Finn O'Sullivan takes the mark for the Kangaroos. Still inside the defensive 50.
Gives it back to Kaur running past. High kick to half forward. Trembath the run and jump. Hands to it. Slips through his hands. And Wilkie pinches it for the Saints. Gives it off towards Clark. Kick smothered, but he goes back and gets it. Handball to Windhager. Handball to Filippo. Over halfway now, St Kilda. Driving kick in the Caminiti direction. Kaur spoils it down. Coming in Hall. Trying to help out for the Saints in the forward pocket. Back feeds the handball to Ryan. Ryan left foot. Centering kick. Bouncing ball. King can't get there, and Harvey can for North. Gives it off to Sheasel, stabs it short, and O'Sullivan marks. 45 out from his defensive goal. Gemma Bastiani.
Yeah, Mitch Owens came to the bench. He did flag that he hurt his finger earlier. It's definitely a dislocated left third finger. The doctor is looking at it now. He looks in a bit of pain.
Thanks, Gem. Caleb Daniel across half back for the Roos. Into the middle of the ground for Harvey. Spots a free player in the middle of the ground. The mark is taken here. And they look to transition quickly because Cherry's got forward. He can't juggle the mark in. Silvani. Off hands, he will have a ball up in the right forward pocket. For half a moment, you wondered whether there would be a free kick there going Kanga's way, but not to be.
He's entitled to have a think about it, the umpire.
So a ball up 30 metres out from North Melbourne's goal. Sherry tries to get it back to O'Sullivan, spinning through traffic. Hand past the bench, down low. Mason Wood lays the tackle. And the umpire will ball it up in the right forward pocket for the Kangaroos. Gemma on the boundary.
Yeah, they've got the finger back in. He's taken some painkillers now that he's taping it together so that it stays in place for the rest of the game.
Sounds like fun.
Thanks, Gem. Sherry backhands it down. Mason Wood just throws a boot at it, gets it dribbling forward, but Davies-Uniacke shrugs them off as he gathers, runs to the pocket, centering kick towards the goal square. Darling or Curtis, it's the latter. Running back with the flight, takes the chest mark, 2 metres in from the behind post. Right forward pocket, right side for a left footer.
It was a brave mark and it was a skillful mark from Curtis. He had a nice little arc. He wasn't just going back blindly into traffic.
Contorted his body, didn't he?
He did. He turned himself into it, so he had an ability to protect himself and the ball at the same time. Something I was never quite able to master.
Beers out, hooks it through. Paul Curtis shows North Melbourne the way. Their opening goal of the afternoon. St Kilda 2 straight 12, North 1-2-8. Quarter hour mark first term. He has been goalless in 3 of his last 4 games against the Saints. He won't be today. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford.
They needed it, didn't they?
Yeah, although I reckon they've been the better team. Outside the first 3 minutes, they've got out the back a lot of times. They've been able to transition the ball from defensive 50, defensive mid into their forward 50. They've had free players inside forward 50 a few times. They haven't been able to execute that last kick. A couple of touch, a couple missed a target in between 2 players. But they've found a way through, so that's what I'm really interested in at the moment. Their transition work and their ability to keep the ball off St Kilda when they get at the Kangas has been very, very positive.
Daniel Harford with you on ABC Sport. Ron Marshall a late out. Cooper Sharman a late out for the Saints. Trembath went early and into Coney. Missed the footy. Taken by Garcia. Gave it away to TDK. Hand pass to Filippo. Up to half forward. Good mark taken at right half forward by Darcy Wilson.
Filippo started well.
King went early with his lead. Now has to double back towards the goal square. Darcy Wilson looks into the pocket. That's where Jack Higgins is. Sends it in the direction of Heat. Max King and Caminiti. Caminiti tries to reel it in. Hand pass to the goal square. Simpkin tackled under pressure. Back to Luke Parker. And off hands, it's rushed through for a minor score. The Saints lead by 5 points. They kicked the opening 2 goals of the game. North had the last 3 scores. Their first goal coming through Paul Curtis and Kilda by 4 points.
So Parker brings it in, goes to Harvey, who kicks up the middle. Might all open up, but Wilkie chops it off for the Saints in the middle of the ground. Handball to Garcia. Away to Travaglia, to Burns, who kicks inside 50. King launching at it, hands to it, no mark. Sheasel roves and thumps it out of there for North.
Up towards the wing when Nick Larkey's in front of Silvani. Can't take the mark. Silvani got it to Burn. The hand pass away to Liam Ryan and now to Wilson at right half forward. Draws his opponent in low. Hand pass to Burns, who kept running boundary side. Looks for the centering kick. Butler back with a flight. Great mark. Filippo was coming in from the other direction. In the end, it was the perfect chaos for the St Kilda forwards as Dan Butler was able to hang on to the mark.
Chaos is the right word, Clinchy, and chaos in their forward half, in particular their forward 50. I think they're the most potent team in the competition when the ball's on the ground, bubbling away in their forward 50, just with the energy and the players they've got to put that pressure on and try and get the ball back. And that's what the Kangas are struggling with a little bit. Once they get through there, they're okay, but it's that forward pressure that's causing some troubles.
So many players for North Melbourne's defence to try and handle. Dan Butler wasn't one originally on the team sheet. His first game since round 15 as he looks to try and make the most of it and misses to the right-hand side from directly in front, 40 metres out. St Kilda lead by 6 points. Tick past 17 minutes gone in the opening quarter. Meanwhile, at the Gabba, it's the Brisbane Lions 17-10, 112, leading Port Adelaide 8-10, 58.
Core brings it into Goda, who goes long to the wing for Darling, and again half, as you've alluded to. North were nearly out the back.
Oh, they were. Get it to Whitlock. Get out of the way.
Yeah, Darling took his time. He also played on out of bounds. And it will be a boundary throw in on the wing, city side of the ground.
Well, that's just an experience thing there. Oh, no, that's right. He's played about 380 games. What are you doing, Jack?
Jack.
You might learn that for game 338.
What are you doing, Jack?
Fair question. Saints
by 6. Throwing on the wing to Koning. Beautiful tap down, but Sheasel first to get there. Wangane Malira overrunning it inadvertently. Soccers it on. Combin pinches it. Ruse on halfback. Handball to the dash of Goda. To the dash of Simpkin. Running through the middle of the ground. Looks inside 50. Great kick for Whitlock. And he accepts it. 35 out, slightly left of centre. And that is what North have done, Daniel Harford, in this game today.
Yeah, they've got a problem defensively with the Saints. Once the Kangaroos get out from clearance and have possession, their skill level's been high, largely. A few errors early, but it's settled down a little bit. And then it's just about decision-making, and that was exactly the right decision. And players going back to goal and Leeds coming back to the league, but just offline to Whitlock was where the ball needed to go.
Picked up beautifully. Daniel Harford, 2019 AFLW Coach of the Year. Whitlock, his drop punt, is tugged left.
We've seen a lot of easy misses already today.
Yeah. It's 4 easy ones, basically directly in front.
1-3 North, St Kilda 2-2, Saints by 5 points. Opening term, we've travelled 19 minutes.
Just his 3rd game of the season. Matt Whitlock, 5th of his career. Stocker out of defence for the Saints, sends it up the wing. Caminiti's the target, brought it down to the front. Garcia inboard to Filippo. Hall tackled and brought down. Banches tackle unrewarded. Spills to Sheasel. Half pass to Daniel into the middle of the ground for Spargo. He plays on the former D and looks out laterally. The kick is just a little loose for Darling. Slaps it in front of Cal Wilkie trying to run back onto it. But O'Connell getting back for the Saints. Hand pass away to Wilkie. Mason Wood trying to chisel a kick inboard. Winhager gathers. Hand pass to Brad Hill. Sends the long kick up the wing. Higgins crashes into his opponent in Parker. Works it in the back. Just as Higgins is about to...
No, that's not it.
It's a bad call, you're right.
He's allowed to protect himself in the drop of the ball.
Parker moves it on to Bailey Scott. Kick up to half forward and St Kilda win it back. Bradley Hill a little 1-2 with Hall. Kick laterally across defensive 50 to Stocker. With some running room. Runs off the back flank. Kicks up towards Caminiti. He takes the mark. Out points load. And at 50 as well, Goda ran through the protected area. And Anthony Caminiti, who was half a sausage roll deep in the stands, said to come in for Rowan Marshall. He'll be marched to the goal square and will go back and kick for goal.
Well, it's the most annoying rule in footy as far as I'm concerned. Harvey Langton won the other night from Melbourne. in that game against Geelong just before three-quarter time was a disaster, and that's just as stupid. He's running to get his opponent. He's nowhere near the play, really. It's in the protected area, I'm sure, if they measure it, get the lab out.
Caminiti comes in and guides it through. St Kilda make North Melbourne pay for all of their misses. 3-2, 20 plays, 1-3-9. 21 minutes into the first term, Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy.
So his opponent split. So Travaglia split to go to the right, and he couldn't get there, so he went to the left. So that's what happened. And then, according to the umpires, has infringed on the protected area as a result of that. It's just a stupid rule.
Well, the spirit of the rule was to give them the protected area so that players aren't impeded to play on and go sideways. That's not what happened.
Correct.
It's just that no one in the stadium, no one on the field is thinking, that's Caminiti's options were impeded because of that player running through. It just wasn't. It's not in the spirit of it, and it's borderline technical.
But it's not even. There was a clarification, was there, that if your opponent split, you're able to still go around.
Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy with you on ABC Sport. Volley down to the middle for the Saints. It spills the way of Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera, who chips looking for Ryan. Was he taken high? No whistle. It's well done in the end by Cam Zurha, who follows up and has the footy locked underneath him. Wanganeen-Milera coming over the top.
That was well done by Zurha.
He has the matchup with Liam Ryan. I'm a bit scared about that matchup, Bob. As De Koning just shoves Sherry out of the way. The umpire gave that the all clear. He fires towards goal and misses everything out of bounds on the full.
There's a lot of shoving going on. That's dead set, hand in the back and push.
I think the matchup, well, one to keep an eye on anyway, is Jack Higgins and Luke Parker. It hasn't exploded yet, but Jack Higgins, to my eye, looks way too fast and powerful at the moment for Parker.
Zurha with the kick up towards halfback off the hands of Wood. Down in front, Sheasel, dispossessed. Ball jars free. Garcia of St Kilda off to O'Connell, to Wood, to Garcia, running all the way back to the wing. Tries to retreat with the switch back to Wilkie. Under pressure, still going backwards, the Saints. Centre half back now, Windhager.
Yes, sir, Bradley.
Able to poke it to Bradley Hill. He'll give it back to Windhager. And he's running like the wind. He kicks out towards half forward. Travaglia can't take the mark, and now the ball's in dispute again. He's tackled by Scott, who's over the top of him. Caminiti goes in to help out. Stocker too. He gives it back to Caminiti.
Who sends it inside 50. Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera is there. He doesn't fly in the end. Clears through the hands of O'Sullivan, and now Naz lays the tackle on Parker.
A free kick to
it is
Jack.
a free kick going
high fend-off.
Yeah, Jack Higgins for a fend-off. So Parker, in that battle you were describing a few moments ago, has fended off Higgins, and high and now 50. So a bit of verbal coming back clearly there. So this is going to be a matchup to watch. As Jack Higgins wastes no time, and he puts through the Saints' third goal of the match, and they do get a bit of scoreboard, a fourth goal of the match. Bit of scoreboard dominance now. 4-2-26 to North Melbourne 1-3-9. Jack Higgins joins Caminiti, Boxall and Burns as the goal kickers for the Saints, while Paul Curtis has the only goal for North Melbourne. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford, your experts. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Well, they're maximising their chances, the Saints, with a little bit of help from some questionable decisions and undisciplined play from the Kangaroos, who themselves let themselves down in front of goal. So they're exploiting everything they can. They're a team like that, the Saints, I reckon. Just some of the numbers, they're running and gunning. That's a 1-to-1 handball, 52-51 for the Saints. Kangas are 44 kicks, 35 handball. The inside 50, 16-9, so they're getting territory in the back of it. But I'm not convinced about the style just yet either way.
Trembath and De Koning share it. Out after it, Sheasel gets the handball out to Davies Uniacke, who shrugs to Koning. He'll kick it deep. Curtis is down there in a one-on-one. Both go to ground, he and his opponent. Bouncing ball, Wilkie tracks it out, throwing right forward pocket for North. Gemma on the boundary.
A bit of frustration on the Saints bench here. Darcy Wilson's trying to get on the ground and create some rotations, but it took Liam Ryan until right now to come on the field. So they nearly got done for a 666 warning because there was meant to be a rotation to the wing there.
Sherry palms it back down boundary side and no one can run it in. Another throw-in coming. St Kilda, the best first quarter team in the comp. We've won 15 so far this year, on track to win a 16th year. Lead by 17 as well.
5-1 centre clearance. That's where they're really getting a hold of the Kangas. They need to sort that out. The boys in royal blue and white.
Sherry took it out of the ruck. Tackle by De Koning. It was over the shoulder. The North Melbourne ruck will get a shot on goal here. The left arm of Tom De Koning just drifted high, and as a result, It gives the Kangas a chance to try and answer back.
There was the initial contact. It's hard to argue. It's a frustrating one because it was just that split second that he made contact over the shoulder, but that's all the umpire will need to see in that scenario.
I think we need a gathering of the ruckman and the boundary umpires to sort out this. We can't keep saying shallow throw-in, can we?
No, it's not shallow.
It's a relationship that's not working.
Tristan Sherry has his chance to try and convert, and he misses to the right-hand side. So the Kangas are leaving a few out there. They're now 1-4-10 to St Kilda 4-2-26. Some of the boundary
the last
umpires
year they've come in.
have been using a sort of wanger as well to sort of do some of their practicing. So I wonder if that's going to come in.
Wanger?
What?
Like the cricket bowling wanger they use.
Who's using the wanger?
I saw one a couple of weeks ago being used as a training tool.
You saw someone using their wanger to throw the ball back in.
Nasiah Wanganeen-Malera brings it out of defensive 50, kicks up to the wing. They do come a couple of metres in play now. 18 metres in from the boundary line is where the throw-in is meant to land. If you're looking for a guide, where the digits used to be painted on 50, which is now an advertising sign, that is 18 metres in from the boundary line. So
the logo on the wings.
That's your guide. As De Koning taps it down, Davies Uniacke gathers at ground level. Roos ball off to Sheasel, stepping a couple. Kicks up to half forward, marking contest. Trembath goes in. Silvani punches it. They play some volleyball. O'Sullivan gathers the footy. Stripped at ground level. Still they go. High free kick. It'll go to St Kilda.
Do you think there'll ever be a time when we see the wanger during the game as opposed to just training?
Wow. There's all sorts of conversations around technology, but we've got to master it really, don't we?
It's actually not that hard.
Like a little catapult, you reckon?
Yeah.
Half, perhaps.
Like the dog throw, the wang. The cricket ball in the nets.
Don't bring catapult into it. It's the wanger. We're all in on the wanger.
Burns to De Koning, who works it back to Hunter Clark. TDK is looking a little tired in this first quarter. He'll have to carry the load with Rowan Marshall out. Sherry at half forward, half back for the Roos. Flies against Boxall. Spills down the way of Caleb Daniel. Now pass to Sheasel. Possession number 11 for him. Gets it to Panch. A beautiful pass, and Larky has it. 50 out. Trembath offers the shallow lead.
Curtis is your man right front.
I thought on his day, like, he gives it away to Caleb Daniel. He's normally a good user. He finds Harry Sheasel.
7 metres that kick, by the way.
Barely 10 metres, but it's enough for the umpire to pay the mark directly in front. And possession number 13 coming up for Harry Sheasel. Can he be the man who slots the major opening?
Well, he, like Curtis, doesn't mind a big moment and doesn't seem to be phased by too much. Curtis loves kicking snags. That's his job. And we know Harry Sheasel's a real class act. This is a chance to show his teammates how it's done.
8 goals, 10 for Harry Sheasel, the prolific ball winner. But can he strike one straight here? How the Kangas need a young star to step up. Sheasel comes in from directly in front, 40 metres out, and he drifts his kick right to left.
It's airborne.
Yeah.
1 goal, 5-11, the Kangas to St Kilda 4-2-26. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
The yips are contagious, and it's spread. Pandemic.
Yep.
You get your mask on.
With the kick in. Big fly coming from Combin down in front. Wanganeen-Malera, a little 1-2 with Wilson. Runs away with it for St Kilda. Tries to go with the spiral. Doesn't hit it sweet, so it tumbles up to half forward. Logue leads it. Gets a bad bounce. Favours Owens momentarily. Goes back and wins it. Handball out to Hall, who bursts through them. Runs inside 50. Steers it on goal and misses narrow.
He got a very bad bounce, Griffin Logue, but he's having a poor start to the day. And he's a real worry for them.
It's kind of like when you're in the field and you feel like you got the ball covered and the guy dives in front of you and knocks it past you. It is not my day today. St Kilda lead by 16 points, quarter time, 4-3-27, plays 1-5-11. North Melbourne wasteful, the goal kickers, Burns, Boxall, Caminiti and Higgins. For the Saints, for North, Curtis, their sole goal kicker.
Meanwhile, at the Gabba, it's the Brisbane Lions who lead Port Adelaide by 60 points. That game is approaching full time. Brisbane 19-12, 126 to Port Adelaide 9-12, 66. As the Lions continue their surge, 3 goals to Logan Morris, 3 goals to Kai Lohmann, Charlie Cameron and Zach Bailey, Visitini and Todd Marshall alongside Georgiades, the multiple goal kickers for Port Adelaide. The Saints by 16 points here. This is Sunday Footy on ABC Sport.
Beneath the heat and dust lies gemstones, secrets and murder.
This is homicide.
Nothing stays buried forever. The suspenseful new crime drama, Treasure and Dirt. Streaming now on ABC iView.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Final match of round 20 of the AFL. North Melbourne and St Kilda as the battle heats up for a wildcard spot in September.
From Wilson towards Lowe, punches it away, sweeping onto it. There is Higgins, gives it off to Burns, fires the shot on goal, and he's got it from deep in the pocket. Ryan Burns fires it through, and that is a dream start for St Kilda. Dinks a little kick out to Burns on the bounce, sweeps a handball to Hill, high half forward for the Saints, looks inside 50, and Boxall, like Jonty Rhodes, he parried it up in the air and took it sprawling to ground, 20 metres out, 45-degree angle. Hugh Boxall, 20 out, slides it through, and the Saints have jumped out of the gates. Mason Wood just throws a boot at it, gets it dribbling forward, but Davies Uniacke shrugs them off as he gathers, runs to the pocket, centering kick towards the goal square. Darling or Curtis, it's the latter. Running back with the flight, takes the chest mark, 2 metres in from the behind post.
It was a brave mark, and it was a skillful mark from Curtis.
Beers out, hooks it through. Paul Curtis shows North Melbourne the way. Runs off the back flank, kicks up towards Caminiti. He takes the mark, outpoints Lowe, and at 50 as well, Goda ran through the protected area. And Anthony Caminiti, there was half a sausage roll deep in the stands, said to come in for Rowan Marshall. He'll be marched to the goal square.
It's the most annoying rule in footy as far as I'm concerned. He's running against his opponent. He's nowhere near the play, really.
Caminiti comes in and guides it through.
Quarter time at Docklands. St Kilda by 16 points against an inaccurate North Melbourne. 4-3-27 to the Kangas 1-5-11. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron calling the action. Gemma Bastiardi is down on the boundary. The thoughts of our experts, Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy.
Well, a fascinating battle. I mean, St Kilda jumped out of the blocks. 2 goals in 3 minutes will get you off to a good start and put your opposition under some pressure. And they had some real good looks, the Kangas. I've been really impressed with the way they've been able to move the footy against this high-pressure come-forward Saints defence. They've got out the back a lot, but they haven't been able to capitalise. 5 marks inside 50-2 suggests that they're finding a way. They just can't finish the job in front of goal. 4 set shots, 4 behinds, which was really disappointing from their perspective. The concern for them would be centre clearance. It's 5-1 for the Saints. Inside 50s on the back of that, 17-11. So Ross has got his territory battle that he wants more often than not. I love the way they go to work inside their forward 50 when the ball's on the deck and the pressure they apply, the Saints. They're terrific at that. And the Kangas going to have to combat that all the way through the afternoon as well. But despite the fact it's 16 points, I still think it's relatively easily poised at quarter time, Bob.
This game is absolutely alive. St Kilda, I love the way they jumped out of the blocks, their intensity, both with the ball and without. Took North Melbourne a few minutes, but once they got into their groove, like you say, Half, they looked dangerous as well. They wasted opportunities, but they were able to get out the back and open them up. So I feel like today's game, it might be a case of the scoreboard just may take a little while to catch up to what's actually happening on the ground. I thought it was reasonably even for most of that first quarter. So I think the sneaky good game could be well and truly on. They're both up for the fight, but also the inaccurate set shot goal kicking, that lends itself as well to the amount of pressure and the expectation that just how much these two teams want them, because we've seen a lot of easy shots missed, particularly from North Melbourne, that the yips of Nick Larkey, it may be airborne and spreading throughout.
Yeah.
Plenty of dramas in the lead up to the game. Ron Marshall was out minutes before the opening bounce with back stiffness. Meant Anthony Caminiti came in, and Cooper Sharman was out. He was managed before the game with Dan Butler also coming in. Gemma Bastiardi's down on the boundary for us this afternoon. Gem.
I do have a question for Bob and Half, if that's okay. Last night, Adam Uze did say that skill execution was the biggest frustration for Richmond this year, aside from injuries and everything. Is that something you're starting to see in particularly North Melbourne? Just the work rate is there, but the execution is just so far off?
I think, well, we spoke before the game, didn't we, Half, around the question marks around North's ability to play 4 quarters. Well, when you create as much opportunity as they have in the first quarter and they don't get reward for effort, I don't think they've got the foundations deep enough in their belief to hang in there a bit longer. So them missing opportunities in front of goal, I think, has a a more lasting effect than what it would have to other sides who are higher up the ladder.
Yep, I agree with that. Interesting just watching Max King. He's one of the storylines, of course, for today's game back in for after, 760 days or something, did you say?
Yep.
A lot of days. Hasn't had a touch yet.
Yep.
Hasn't had a touch yet, but I'll tell you what, he's tested the strings out a couple of times. He's had some balls at his ankles that are coming into the forward line and hasn't been able to gather them cleanly. So he's competitive, he's athletic, and he hasn't popped a string. 1 quarter in, so that's a positive outcome for the Saints.
He played 12 minutes in that opening quarter. Started on the bench, hasn't had a touch yet. St Kilda leading by 16 points. Wanganeen Miller with 12. Harry Sheezel with 13 for the Kangaroos. As we get the second quarter underway, Shrimbaugh, rises high against De Koning. Spills down the way of Simpkin. Gets the hand pass out to Davies Uniacke, who shovels it forward. Simpkin tries to just poke a kick to McKercher. He's in a tangle with Mason Wood. The reinforcements get back. Brad Hill's hand pass to Stocker. Back to Mason Wood. Inside defensive 50 to Hill. Back to Winhager. They're giving up ground. And now O'Connell. His kick missed Stocker.
Nice.
Opens the chance for the Roos. Sherry runs onto it. He's tackled by Garcia. Both Sherry and Trimbath looked at each other. In the end, neither, I think, made a decision. It just landed in Sherry's lap.
Up it goes. Sherry and De Koning share it down. Onto it quickly, Garcia. Floater into the middle of the ground with his kick. Bouncing ball out the back. Aiden Cause onto it. Kangas with it. Off to Zerha. This is his target on his kick. Bouncing ball at half forward. Out after it, Bradley Hill. Tries to paddle it on. Bailey Scott goes in. Feeds it out to Bench. Kangas can reset again.
Oh, shit's bad.
Cooper Harvey kicks it about 5 metres. It works out in the end for O'Sullivan. Gives the handball back to Harvey. Back to Core. He'll kick it very wide out. Bouncing ball. Neat pick up from Trembath. Handball misses Scott. Gathers again. Back to Trembath. Kicks inside 50. Sherry goes up for the mark off the hands of the pack. Naz is onto it. Wanganeen Miller runs it off. Slipping over his Saints teammate under the pump. And the handball ends up out. Insufficient intent. And it will be a free kick to North. Windhager was the player who lost his footing under the pump. And it will be little diminutive Zach Banch who will have the free kick from 45 metres out.
It's the worst 90 seconds of a quarter we've seen all year, so hopefully it gets better from here.
Banch going the long snap. Can't quite find the major opening. A little narrow. So North Melbourne trail by 15 points. Saints lead. They kicked 4 goals to 1 in the opening term. And North Melbourne have been errant with their shots on goal. 1-6, plays 4-3.
Brad Hill plays on. Paul Curtis comes running at him. Hill drives it up towards halfback. Clears Mitch Owen and Comben. At the back, Core gathers for the Roos. Got a hand pass forward, but St Kilda have the numbers. Byrne feeds it back to Winhager. Kicks around his body. A turnover. Cooper Harvey takes the intercepting mark for the Roos. Comes into the middle of the ground with a kick that finds McKercher. He's got Simpkin as a short option. O'Connell comes crashing into him. And Simpkin has it at the edge of the centre square. Got Stevens laterally. He wants to go more central than that. And Curtis, as you heard,
Great kick.
leading out, takes the mark, sprawling in front of Brad Hill. And marks directly in front. Only about 40 metres out. Is this the set shot for the Roos with 1-6 so far?
He's the only one that's been able to get him through the big sticks. There's a snap around the corner in the first quarter from about 6 metres out. So a slightly different scenario. But 35 out directly in front. Brilliant kick from Simpkin. Great little cutback lead from Curtis to open up that corridor lane. Simpkin saw it and duly acknowledged with some excellence.
Up to 29 goals for the season, Paul Curtis, as he looks to double up for him and the Kangaroos, and he misses to the left-hand side.
Paul.
Get the masks. It's airborne.
It's airborne.
Goal 7-13, the Kangaroos to St Kilda. 4-3-27, 3 minutes gone. Second quarter.
Some sort of statewide vaccination program we can run.
Wanganeen Malera bringing it out with a kick. Kicks for Wood. Spoiled away from him. The Roos back on it at half forward. Stevens stabs it for Trembath. He marks 40 out. Slightest of angles right of centre.
Docklands is a hot spot.
Patient zero, is that not lucky?
I feel like it's all too soon.
It's all too soon. It's never,
What we all went through.
Ferris Bueller told me one day it's never too soon.
That's true.
That's what Ferris taught me all those years ago.
Ferris wouldn't let us down.
Cooper Trembath
Say Ferris.
to try and flip the script. Boot the ball from 50. Starts at left, brings it back, but not enough. They've kicked 1 goal, 8.
Achoo.
They trail by 13 points. They've had 9 scoring shots to 7, but trail by 13, 4 minutes into the second term.
It's a seventh mark inside forward 50. So that's, if you go into the coach's box conversation, Ross would be really annoyed with what's going on defensively from the Saints' perspective. And they're just lucky that the Kangas have got the virus.
Wanganeen Miller, position number 15, into the back pocket. Links up with Brad Hill, who combined with Winhager. Back to Hill, across half back, and Mason Wood marks. Sends it up the wing. Jack Higgins in front, marks it left half forward. He veers out to the right. Mitch Owens is the deepest target. Can Coleman grab his jumper? He did. And the umpire spotted that. Just worried about the ability to run and jump Mitch Owen, and careless free kick really when the ball wasn't even in the vicinity.
Yeah, just panic from Coleman. I mean, he's a guy that does love to launch at the footy, Mitch Owens, so you know why he did it. But he spun him around like he's, what was that nursery rhyme?
Ring a Rosie.
Ring a Rosie.
So after North Melbourne have kicked 3 behinds at the other end, St Kilda with a chance to really take command here. Mitch Owen directly in front, having had his finger popped in the first quarter. He steers through his first goal of the match here. And the Saints have 5 of the first 6 goals of the match, and they open up a 19-point advantage. 5-3-33 to North Melbourne, 1-8-14. While earlier it was the Brisbane Lions who prevailed by 59 points over Port Adelaide at the Gabba. Bob Murphy and Daniel Hufford, your experts on ABC Sport.
Well, it's a classic 2-goal turnaround where North Melbourne waste chances from similar easy set shots up one end of the ground. Ball moves quickly down. And like you say, Half, that was just a free kick there of panic. It's the easiest free kick for umpires to pay. As soon as they see defenders wrap their arms around the waist of forwards, it just has an absolute ribbon on it. For umpires that have a very tough job, that's the easiest free kick they have in the game.
Yep. It's certainly the most consistent one they pay, isn't it?
Yep.
As soon as that happens, it's a free every day.
The Koning hooks it down from the restart, follows up at ground level, feeds out the handball, and Filippo makes it his. Gives it to Wanganeen Miller. Kick up to half forward. Caminiti runs underneath the football. The kick a little too strong. Core wins it for the Roos. Back flank to O'Sullivan. Coughs it up. Coming through Wilson off to Burns. Squeezes it on goal and misses. Was under a little bit of pressure. St Kilda lead by 19 points. 7 played second term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
That's that forward 50 pressure they're so good at, the Saints. You've got to try and
sharp
find a way.
too, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got to try and find a way to just get that ball in a stop play situation, mark or free kick style.
Parker plays on. Ryan comes running at him, sends it up the wing. Sherry outmanoeuvred. To Koning, takes the mark. He's got Hall on his own. Right on 50. Hand pass to Naz. Streaming through 50. Misses to the left-hand side. Now the Saints have missed a couple of chances in front of goal. 5-5-35 to North Melbourne, 1-8-14. 7 minutes gone. Second quarter. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Here's Ben Cameron.
Quarter take the kick in. Ambles to the pocket. Sets it up to a contest. Darling and Sherry are there through the hands of Darling. Out the back. Wood wins it for the Saints. Goes back to Filippo, who dinks a kick out wide. And Wanganeen Malera marks. He plays on. Gives it off to Tom De Koning. He'll get it back. Kicks infield. Stocker accepts just forward of the logo. Saints by 21.
Big Max
King
is back
comes
on.
back on the ground as Stocker drives it deep to full forward. Owens goes up, sport away by Logue. Butler coming through. Can't quite trap it. He's over the footy. And eventually it spits out. The umpire lets them rumble. Burns jams it on the boot, but Parker's playing goalkeeper and he can clear for the Roos.
Sends it up towards half back. Silvani's in front of Larkey. Silvani couldn't complete the mark, and it will be a lasso free kick going the way of the Roos. And Nick Larkey will get a disposal at half back.
First mistake he's made. Jack Silvani started beautifully on Nick Larkey.
Larkey dances around. Silvani on the mark. Cuts
Second
back boundary
mistake.
side. Kicks up the wing. Trimbuth was dragged down against Wilkie. Free kick going the Roos way despite Stocker having taken the mark. So Roos have it centre wing on the other side. St Kilda by 21 points. Cooper Trimbuth called to play on. So sends it long into the pocket. Into the direction of O'Sullivan, who rises on the back of his fellow forward, Darling, and takes the mark out to the left. 1 goal, 8 for the Kangaroos. Bob, in your absence last week, we saw Jake Stringer boot 7 behinds, as the Giants couldn't take their chances against the Bombers. All of a sudden, it feels like that's become contagious for the Roos this afternoon.
Maybe he's patient zero.
And Finn O'Sullivan, having signed a contract extension of 2029 during the week, he misses to the left-hand side. Another minor score. And Alistair Clarkson is finding it harder and harder to disguise his frustration. The Kangaroos 1-9-15 to St Kilda 5-5-35. 9 minutes gone, second quarter on ABC Sport.
It's like the goals are in disguise at the moment. Clinchy as Hill brings it back in, looking for Wanganeen Malera, misses him. Finn O'Sullivan gathers on the bounce, Roos back with it, half forward. Banch kicks infield, and Simpkin accepts it. 40 out, centres it. Sheasel 30 out directly in front. Here's the moment.
The other weird part, Ben, is they've all been from set shots.
Yeah. And relatively, outside of O'Sullivan's, relatively straightforward in that corridor. Starting to get a bit tense on the bench, Gemma.
I feel tense up here.
The Saints are pretty chill. Their only problem is that there's not enough room for all five of them to sit down at once. Dan Butler keeps having to sit on the floor.
Harry Sheasel, 35 out, directly in front. Finally! Sweet relief for the Kangas fans. 14 points the margin. 5-5-35 St Kilda. North Melbourne 2-9. 10 minutes into their second term. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy, a collective sigh for those in royal blue and white.
Well, that's a pretty high quality set shot from directly in front from 35 metres out, which usually at any level you'd put the glasses down, but in the context of just the amount of misses that North Melbourne had, that was a really, really important kick. We know Harry Sheasel is a very, very good player. Well, that was a set shot of substance. Yes, it was regulation, but the rot had to stop at some point. And hopefully that's enough to get North Melbourne's mental game to match its physical game at the moment.
I think it was 10 North Melbourne players to 9 North Melbourne players to keep behind as well. So a chance to try and be the first to split the middle, and went the way of Harry Sheasel. Mitch Owens gets a free kick in the middle of the ground. Sends St Kilda inside 50. Caminiti takes the mark. Max King came leading out. In the end, he was shoved underneath it, and Caminiti was the last standing at the very back as he drew King two North Melbourne defenders.
Uncontested. High hanging ball, 50 metres long. Uncontested mark as everyone was that focused on Max King. Caminiti just sat at the back, post hot dog, and decided this is going to be my moment. Just read it better.
Caminiti, who has one already, had just the 2 disposals against Geelong last week. The late in for Rowan Marshall, directly in front, 40 out from goal, starts it right and misses. Just the wrong side of the right goalpost. The Saints lead by 16 points.
That's a bad miss.
12 minutes gone, second quarter.
Parker, short kick in, away to Logue, keeps running, gets it back, chips it short for Goda, broken up by Clark.
Well done, Clark.
St Kilda ball, he follows up again, worries Parker out of it, dribbles it back to Liam Ryan, snaps on goal, bounces in the goal square, gets the wrong and needed the leg break. Wrong side of the post. St Kilda lead by 16 points. 12 and a half minutes into the second term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Well done.
Chopped off. It's coming in from the side. Darcy Wilson gets a touch into it.
They're hungry, aren't they, the Saints?
They're the best at it.
Zerha kick in there.
Love the way they just defend with unbelievable energy, particularly on their forward half of the ground.
Also saw a bizarre shot on the monitor of Rowan Marshall down in the change rooms down below, just watching on a monitor.
Yeah.
So he's still here, but he's not watching on the bench. Sort of took you to NBA
he's
vibes.
allowed to.
Well, you've got to have, access. Yeah.
He's not allowed on the ground.
Gets to the goal square. Aiden Core and Cam Zerha. Zerha's been collected.
A big Max King.
And Max King trying to get involved in this contest. Now Griffin Lowe comes in to remonstrate. This will be a 50-metre penalty for the Kangas. So Max King hasn't had a touch yet. Start of the first 6 minutes of both the first and second quarter on the bench.
He's got a touch then on the replay. Just drops the shoulder as Zerha comes past him as he's taking that mark.
Just a little careless from Max King, and it does result in a 50-metre penalty. Core from the wing sends it up towards Spargo at half forward. Spoiled away from him. The ball goes out of play.
Nothing careless. I reckon you're right, but he wanted to get involved.
What he was doing.
He wanted to get involved, and he went offline and dropped him.
Got him fairly though, didn't he?
Yeah, shoulder to shoulder.
High, so no suspension concerns.
So the 50 is the correct response.
Yep. Yeah, it was unfair, but it wasn't reportable.
Sherry palms it down in front. Filippo Robes dumps it on his left boot. High up and under. Logue goes up, spills the mark. Ground ball to be won. Comben wins it. Back to Logue. Roos on their back flank. Away towards Core, who chips it short for McKercher.
Got open side players if he wants them.
And he wants them.
They are
Likes the
slow.
switch.
They are slow to take that option.
Yeah.
It's there. They don't look there, and they don't go there quick. North Melbourne.
To Zerha, to Stevens, who pokes it around the boundary line, and Simpkin. The kick goes to the bare 15, if that.
Parker's your man.
Simpkin comes infield to Parker, to Stevens. Leaps the handball over the top. McKercher at centre half forward, goes into the pocket, and Whitlock on the lead. He marks 35 out, just better than a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, the Saints are defending really narrowly, so they're trying to get the ball back. Whichever side of the ground the Kangas get the ball on, that's the side that Saints are trying to hem them in on, but they just can't get a handle on that at the moment. Every time they get outside, they force holes in the defensive structure going forward, or defending for the Saints. They've had too many times they've been able to get out the back of the Saints' defence, the Kangas, this afternoon.
Matt Whitlock, the twin brother of Jack at Port Adelaide, trots in, puts his laces through it, and it's a goal feast for North now. Just got to get the yips out of the way. 5-7-37 St Kilda, North Melbourne 3-9-27. Saints by 10 points, quarter-hour mark, second term, Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Well, they got some reward there, for the change of direction. Like you said, making the ground nice and big to stretch that St Kilda defence. And then once they shifted the ball across, they had options everywhere. It makes you wonder, and you've got to ask the question, why don't they look sooner and why don't they try and change direction quicker? Because when they do it, they make St Kilda look a little bit flat-footed. So we'll see if they've learnt a lesson from the good work that they produced in that build-up.
Bob Murphy with you on ABC Sport. The Saints got out by 20 points in this second quarter. Last 2 goals away, the Kangas back in the middle of the ground. McKercher tries to knock it forward. Free kick for a hold. And it's going to go the way of St Kilda, to be taken by Mateus Filippo. He's at the back edge of the centre square by the time the umpire blew the whistle. He looks to the outer side, sends it in the direction of Mason Wood, rises against Bailey Scott. He got his arm held. And the Saints get another free kick. Max King on the move into the pocket, ignores that, sends it long, in fact, in that direction in the end, and up against the boundary line. He finally has a mark at a disposal. Max King against the boundary line, takes the mark. He led early, and for half a moment you thought Mason would have missed him, and then he pulled his kick beautifully on the left and found him hard against the boundary line.
Breezy pocket.
I was waiting for that.
756 days since Max King last played a game. Round 16, 2024. He starts against the gutter here. In the right forward pocket, Max King fires on goal. It's across the face of goal. De Koning's outnumbered, and in the end, Trembar punches it through. So Max King gets his first disposal at the 17-minute mark of the second quarter. St Kilda by 11 points.
Daniel brings it in short to Parker. He shorts it again to Simpkin. Explored a move to Collingwood in the off-season, but still at the Roos. Nothing he likes. Works himself into a little bit of a cul-de-sac. Kicks for Stevens. Too hot for him. Higgins overruns it though. Clever toe poke from Stevens to Parker. He gives it back to Stevens, who goes low, wins a free kick. Higgins over the shoulder. Saints by 11.
Hey, Jake Higgins. That's what he did.
Yeah, he did. Taste of his own medicine.
That's better from North Melbourne. The speed with the switch.
Quick switch. Ends up with Comben. Back flank, City side of the ground.
And that's what you get.
Larky's in space. Now they can look inside 50. He'll come short infield. And the Saints can fold back. Spargo marks low down.
He veers out to the right and dances around. Darcy Wilson sends it inside 50. St Kilda have the numbers back. O'Connell in front. Stocker brought it down. Whitlock could have been held. No whistle in the end. The umpire's going to pull it up.
Had to be close. Check the replay of that. Oh, Hunter Clarkson coming and clubbed him.
Crashing in.
That's a free kick.
In the end, the umpires decided there was no whistle to be blown. The ball up. 15 metres out from the Roos goal. Trembath got rid of De Koning. Trickles it towards the goal mouth. It's offline and rolls through up against the left behind post for a boundary throw in. The Kangas fans are at the opposite end to this, so they're trying to make their presence known. St Kilda by 11 points.
Umpire flings it in.
Too high.
Tom De Koning gets to the front, slaps it down. Whitlock can't trap it. Ball bounces to Silvani, who gives it to Burns, running out of the back pocket. Stops, props, waits for support, chips it for Filippo. Bench does well, halves the contest. Ball tumbles out.
Well, Burns had no one in this half of the ground. The ball came out broadcast side. All St Kilda on the open side, other side of the ground. So he ran out to the pocket, looked forward, he had nothing. Not even a person in this half of the ground.
St Kilda by 11. Nearing time on second term. Trembath punches it on inside 50. Hunter Clark gathers possession, spits out a handball. McKercher onto it. Might have to use the right. Handballs instead. Tap back to him by Trembath. And then Wood pinches it. Saints in their back pocket. Stevens goes in. Garcia's over him. Umpire wants it. Ball up, right forward pocket here for North. Attacking the Coventry end in this second term.
Thrown up. Trembath failed to get it. Tap to it. McKercher gathers though. He's being held on to by Garcia. Hand passes a turnover. Filippo gets a forward.
Oh, what a gather.
Wanganeen Miller was clean when everyone else was fumbling. His hand pass is wide of Garcia though. Races back onto it. Hand pass to De Koning. Sends a kick up the wing. It's wide of Caminiti. Zerha back with the flight. Can't take the mark. He does gather it though. Centre wing for the Roos. Cuts on his right. Just an up and under kick in the direction of Trembath. He gathers it first but can't complete the mark. Hunter Clark picks it up. He just shovels it out to Cal Wilkie. And eventually the Saints will clear with Boxall sending it up towards Liam Ryan in a 2-on-1. Griffin Logan. Cam Zerha, and Zerha just grabbing at his midriff as he slowly gets to his feet. St Kilda by 11 points, a boundary throw in front of the two benches.
He's dished out a bit of punishment over the years, Cam Zerha, but he's been on the receiving end of some pretty solid hits himself today, but he's back up on his feet.
What are you looking about him as a defender, Bob?
I think he's coming along pretty nicely. I'm not sure if that's where I would play him, but I think he's shown some pretty good wares.
Free kick going the way of Cooper Trembath from the boundary, throwing on the wing. A few North fans with a few jeers.
8-10 in favour of St Kilda's free kick count for those that play that game. I don't.
Stevens offering the lead. Sullivan comes in off the bench, receives the handball, pokes it short. Sheasel marks.
Trembath's on.
Attacking point of the square. Sheasel thumps it deep to the pocket. Larkey gets in front of Wilkie, takes the mark, tumbling to ground. 25 out, 45-degree angle, right forward pocket. He's looking corridor, but it looks like he'll take the responsibility.
So I'm just going to dip into the golfing world here, which I know is your area.
Hang on.
Welcome.
Half's got the yips at the moment.
You know,
I have not. I'm on fire.
You know what you tell golfers, though, isn't it? To keep your head down. Same thing with goal kicking. When you're out of form, just watch how quickly his head comes up.
Nick Larkey on the runway. Misses out to the left. Doesn't even make the distance.
How quick was it, Half?
No, that's too quick. That was way too quick.
Instant. You're so anxious about the result.
Yep.
You just can't. You abandon
reflexively
the final moment of your routine because you're just so anxious about what the result is.
Saints by 10 points.
Aside Wanganeen Miller into the middle of the ground. O'Connell can't mark. McKercher gathers for the Roos. Reloads inside 50. Darling used his body superbly. Takes the mark just slightly left of centre. And he just worked Hunter Clark underneath it. And a chance for the Kangaroos to try and make it 3 goals on the bounce.
Yeah, the kick to advantage by McKercher, which was lovely, but it's good reward for Jack Darling. He was the one that created the opportunity for Larkin to launch at the last ball. Just took out Cal Wilkie in the marking contest. Created a bit of a lane for him and a chance to do it. So he gets a lick of the ice cream here, and after 742 games, he should be able to kick this.
Jack Darling, in his 338th game. He finds no error with driving it through the middle. And North fans rejoice at last. 27 goals, 10 for the ageing veteran. Jack Darling at 34 years of age shows he can still put them through the major sticks. And the Kangas cut within 4 points St Kilda's lead. 5-8-38 St Kilda to North Melbourne. 4-10-34. We've ticked past 23 minutes gone in the second quarter. Sunday footy on ABC Sport with Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy.
The scoreboard is catching up to what we're seeing in the game. Now only 4 points in it. It felt and it feels like a really evenly matched team. And thankfully, mercifully, the goal kicking is also starting to match the quality of the effort and the speed and the toughness of these two teams.
Gemma, Nick Larkey's just come off. Just for a rotation, I'm sure, but how's he looking?
Yeah, he's just sat on the bench, wiped his head with a towel. He's clearly working very hard. It's just not working for him, but he doesn't look overly worried. He's trying to get his teammates up and about.
Free kick to St Kilda from the restart. The Koning goes inside 50. Bouncing ball. McKercher tracking it. Coming through King. Makes it his. Coughs it up. Rebounds back to him. Gets the handball out. Wangani Malira deep in the pocket. Will retreat. Kicks on the outside of the boot. It goes 1 metre to Hall. To Butler, who snaps on the outside of the boot. And it bounces out of play for a boundary throw in. Deep in the right forward pocket here for the Sainters. Appropriately attacking the Lockett end in the second term. Saints by 4. North have kicked the last 3, 25 minutes into the second.
And it's the Saints in their second quarter who beat it 1-5 to North Melbourne's 3-5. To Koning, works his way to the front against Sherry. Can't knock it clear. Caleb Daniel gathers for the Roos. Hand pass to Sheasel. Sends a high ball to half back. Darling comes out and takes the chest mark. Crashing into Torellia. Looks in the middle of the ground. Trembath's in space. Gives it back to Caleb Daniel, and they're on the overlap here. Spargo marks it left half forward. Looks up. Has Curtis. Instead goes shorter than that. O'Sullivan marks. He's right on 50. And the umpire just coming in to set the mark with Mitch Owen. In the end, O'Sullivan decides he doesn't want the shot on goal and goes out laterally, and that's where the mark is taken by Jai Simpkin. Veers out to the right, sends it long to the goal square. Sheasel's there alongside Curtis. Brought down by Mason Wood. Silvani dribbles it towards the boundary line. Cal Wilkie sees it out of play. A chance goes begging there for the Roos. Gemma Bastiardi on the boundary.
Frustrations from Roos fans there because Jack Darling and Bailey Scott were out on the open side, and not once did North look inside to get it to them.
Yeah, Banch was charging back too. He looked pretty good as an option there. That just held up at the wrong time, I reckon, from Finn O'Sullivan.
Forward 50 stoppage here for North Melbourne as Sherry taps it down, but the Saints can come away with it. Hall with the kick up towards the wing. Tom de Koning caught behind, punches it out of play, and a throw-in coming.
Actually, Hall hasn't had a huge impact for the Saints today. He's one of my men. He's in the stable. Just hasn't had a huge impact today for them, so they'll be keen for him to get amongst it a bit. But 14 marks inside forward 50.
14?
9 this quarter, Bob, to the Kangaroos.
Fourth highest rated Saint this year, Max Hall. Sherry palms it down, but Filippo takes it off to his running mate in Owens. And it kicks high up towards half forward. Logue drops it. Kangas have the numbers. Common goes back to Daniel. Turns Higgins. Feeds the handball out wide. And the kick from Harvey just gets to Parker.
Good.
Ball flying in to spoil it. Forces a boundary throw in between wing and half forward. Better defensive pressure from the Saints. They lead by 4 points. We're 2 minutes away from half time.
He heard the feedback, Max Hall. He heard Harford just bring into question that his form had dipped a little bit. That was seriously good defence from Max Hall. Love that intensity.
A bit close to an arm chop, but you're right.
Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Owen competes well against Sherry. Got it down to the front, and here goes Naz. Nasai Wangani Miller running the boundary line. Gets to 60. Centering ball. Who's there? Nobody in the end. Getting back, Goda takes the mark in front of Max King. Offering support to the North Melbourne defence.
Hasn't been his most damaging game, Naz. He's wasted a bit of his footy.
23 disposals.
Has he?
Yep.
He's going at 53% kicking efficiency. So I'm with you, Bob.
Yeah, so that's
He hasn't hurt them.
10 of his 19 have been effective. That's less than acceptable for Naz.
23.
Harry Sheasel has had 17 disposals. He's going at 90%.
But to your point, it hasn't been as influential.
No.
He shares it with Logue, and now to Luke Parker, who kicks it long down the line. Finn O'Sullivan flies in front of Tristan Sherry, can't complete the mark, and golf fans, it goes out of play in front of the St Kilda bench. If you just flicked on the radio, 2 late changes before the game roll. Marshall with a stiff back as the teams were warming up just moments before the opening bounce. And Cooper Sharman came out, so Dan Butler and Anthony Caminiti, 2 late changes for the Saints.
From the throw-in, Sherry taking it out of the ruck, hurries the kick up to half forward, and Spargo marks on his chest. He'll look inside 50. Darling in good position. Wilkie spoils it away. Might have got over his shoulder. Umpire says no. And Wood bounces off half back. Gives the handball away towards Stocker to Silvani. Loses it in the tackle. Umpire says play on. Windhager whacks it around the wing. Bouncing ball for Logue. Gathers on the bounce. Has the support of Trembath. His short kick is
not good.
A similar sounding word. It's not quite the same and out of bounds on the full. St Kilda lead by 4 points, nearing half-time.
That non-call on Jack Silvani's throw once he was tackled was a disgrace. That's where the fans go bananas. Seriously. we've lost our way. We have lost our way, I reckon, with the way we adjudicate that.
Closing in on half-time. Wanganeen Miller back to Savani, then gestures just to slow it down. Sends it up the wing. Owens in the pack. Sherry can't complete the mark. Gathered by Griffin Lowe. Kicks to O'Sullivan. Crashing into him. Silvani tries to claim the mark. He spoiled it and then took the mark.
Yep, I'm okay with that.
And that'll do us for the opening half in the books. The return of Max King, featuring in his first game in 756 days. And a shot on goal in that second quarter, having not touched the footy in the first quarter. He missed across the face of goal. So one kick, one hand pass in the Saints' 4-point lead to half-time. 5:8:38 to the Roos, 4:10:34. The Saints led by 16 points at quarter time. After the Kangaroos inaccurate in front of goal. 1 goal, 5-11 in the first quarter for the Kangas. In that second quarter, the Roos took control. 3 goals, 5, still inaccurate to the Saints' 1 goal, 5. The goal kickers so far for St Kilda: Owens, Burns, Boxall and Caminiti. While for the Kangaroos, goals to Darling, Whitlock, Sheasel and Curtis. Halftime here at Docklands. It's the Saints who lead by 4 points, while earlier the Brisbane Lions defeated Port Adelaide by 59 points. 19-12, 126 to the Power, 9-13-67. The Brisbane Lions' 7th win on the trot. The thoughts of Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford, your experts on ABC Sport.
Well, it's an evenly poised game. I think it's the type of game that we wanted. It's the type of game we expected, and both have delivered. So they've been wobbly in front of goal at various points, but it felt like halfway through that second quarter, once the set shot goal kicking was tidied up, the scoreboard started to correct itself to reflect what we've seen here under the roof at Docklands, that this is two relatively evenly ranked teams who have got a lot to play for. And you can see St Kilda, who are still out on the field, they're having a bit of a chat. They've created enough opportunities to put their nose in front. And North Melbourne, they've looked dangerous at various times as well. So I think we are in for a massive second half as both teams try and assert themselves. And both teams look like they're up for the fight. So we'll see who can win this arm wrestle. At the moment, evenly poised. It's what we expected, and it's what we've got.
Max Hall doing a television interview, so Brad Hill taking the chance to address the troops. The Saints leading by 4 points, 24 disposals for Nasiah Wanganeen-Millera. He's had 3 score involvements, 3 inside 50s, 3 clearances with his 562 metres gained. Brad Hill with 14 disposals, Mateus Filippo with 13, while for the Kangaroos, Harry Sheasel with 17 and Finn O'Sullivan with 14. So for North Melbourne, they're 4 goals, 10 from their set shots on goal. They've booted 4 goals, 7. So just the 3 behinds have been rushed. So that's been the challenge for them in front of goal. Alistair Clarkson, Bob, spoke about the mental yips for Nick Larkey, but it's spread to the team in that first half.
It has, and it has been spread out across most of the playing group. They've missed easy shots. The real positive though, because what can often happen in that situation is, missing the goals is obviously disappointing. It speaks for itself. But what can start to creep in is a reluctance to want the ball in your hands. And hats off to North Melbourne. That never appeared to be the case. They've taken a bunch of marks inside 50, so they're keeping having shots, and they were able to start putting a few through. But their want and their appetite to get the ball and keep going forward and keep having shots was impressive. And if they can improve that accuracy, they're up to their eyeballs in this one against the Saints.
Half-time here at Docklands. It's the Saints who lead by 4 points. 5:8:38 to North Melbourne, 4:10:34. Let's bring you the latest from the ABC newsroom.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. 2 native birds found dead on separate beaches in South Australia have tested positive for the H5 strain of bird flu. The greater crested terns were found in Robe in the state's southeast and on the metropolitan beach, Semaphore. The government says the number of confirmed or presumed positive detections in Australia is now 20, all in wild birds. It says there's still no evidence of a mass mortality event or detections in the poultry or agricultural industries. The Iran war has widened despite a pause in US strikes. after Yemen's Iran-aligned Houthis attacked Saudi oil installations on the Red Sea coast, and Iran accused Ukraine of targeting one of its ships in the Caspian Sea. The US military says its naval blockade against Iran remains in full effect, but has not explained why it's halted a succession of 13 nights of escalating strikes. There have also been no reports yet this weekend of Iranian attacks on Gulf neighbours after daily retaliation for US strikes. A senior US official says that President Donald Trump has always been clear that his preference is diplomacy, but he's shown Iran what will happen if it fails to negotiate in a serious way. German authorities have issued a wanted notice for a fugitive suspect in the crowd-ramming incident near Berlin's Pride Festival that's left one person dead and injured at least 16 others, some of them critically. Police and prosecutors have asked for help from the public to locate a 21-year-old man identified as Abdul B. Police say they'd earlier identified a suspect with ties to Islamist groups in the German capital. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez says emergency crews are working to save lives as wildfires continue to burn west of the capital, Madrid. One person is known to have died in the fires in Spain, while a total of hundreds of thousands of people have been ordered to evacuate their homes there and in France as well. French authorities have now ordered the evacuation of tens of thousands more residents from the southwestern city of Bordeaux as wildfires continue burning to its west. BBC Weather's Chris Fawkes says there's little comfort in the forecasts for French firefighters.
Rainfall totals for the rest of this week, pretty much nothing across these wildfire hit areas. And worse than that, this week we're going to see a renewed severe heatwave build across France that will see temperatures again climbing into the upper 30s to low 40s.
Queensland's Police Minister says officers are well equipped to deal with dangerous situations after a police shooting in the state's far north. Officers were called to the Cairns suburb of Mount Sheridan just after 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon, following reports of a man armed with knives. Police say they attempted to engage him before officers fired shots. The man and a 50-year-old female civilian were shot and are in a stable condition in hospital. Dan Purdy says police do whatever they can to protect the community.
It just goes to show the dangers that our police face, and they are highly trained. They do have equipment. I've seen some of the footage from that incident, and it was a high-risk incident, and our police are trained to deal with that.
A Perth man is due to face court today, charged over the death of a woman in a traffic crash on Friday. Andrew Hanlon has the details.
A 38-year-old man has been charged with manslaughter after a female passenger was killed when two cars collided on Tonkin Highway in Martin about 11:15 on Friday night. A 30-year-old woman sustained critical injuries and was rushed to hospital where she later died. The man is facing a number of charges including manslaughter and reckless driving to escape pursuit by police. He's due to face Perth Magistrates Court today via a hospital bedside hearing. It comes as 4 other people died on WA roads in the space of 24 hours. 2 people were killed in a head-on collision near Karratha yesterday morning. On Friday afternoon, a man died in Boddington and another south of Geraldton in separate single-vehicle crashes.
A man has died after his fishing boat capsized off La Perouse in Sydney's east. Police say 2 men were fishing around 10:30 this morning when a wave capsized their boat, throwing them into the water. A jet ski rider pulled a 74-year-old man from the water and paramedics took him to Prince of Wales Hospital in a stable condition. An emergency helicopter airlifted the second man out unconscious and paramedics performed CPR. However, he died at the scene. The boat broke apart in the incident and neither man was wearing a life jacket. Police are appealing for witnesses or dash cam footage and will prepare a report for the coroner. And police say a fatal house fire on the New South Wales South Coast is not being treated as suspicious. Firefighters were called to a home on Manning Street in Kiama last night where they found the house engulfed in flames. This is ABC News.
Some invitations are just too good to refuse, like conversations in the kitchen with our most prominent politicians. Surprises are plenty.
New Kitchen Cabinet with Annabelle Crabb, streaming now on ABC iView.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Jack Higgins in front, marks it left half forward. He veers out to the right. Mitch Owens is the deepest target. Coleman grabbed his jumper, he did. And the umpire spotted that. Careless free kick, really, when the ball wasn't even in the vicinity.
Yeah, just panic, Coleman.
Mitch Owen directly in front. Having had his finger popped in the first quarter, he steers through his first goal of the match here. And the Saints have 5 of the first 6 goals of the match.
Finn O'Sullivan gathers on the bounce. Roos back with it, half forward. Banch kicks infield, and Simpkin accepts it. 40 out, centres it. Sheasel 30 out directly in front. Here's the moment. Harry Sheasel 35 out directly in front. Finally! Sweet relief for the Kangas fans. 14 points the margin. 5-5-35 St Kilda. North Melbourne 2-9. Leaps the handball over the top. McKercher at centre half forward. Goes into the pocket, and Whitlock on the lead. He marks 35 out. Just better than a 45-degree angle. Trots in, puts his laces through it. And it's a goal feast for North now. Just got to get the yips out of the way.
Masai Wangan and Miller into the middle of the ground. O'Connell can't mark. McKercher gathers to the Roos. Reloads inside 50. Darling uses his body superbly. Takes the mark just slightly left of centre.
After 742 games, should be able to kick this.
His 338th game. He finds no error with driving it through the middle. And North fans rejoice at last.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
A warm welcome to listeners who join us from the Gabba halftime here at Docklands. It's a tight tussle at the moment. St Kilda leading by 4 points and against an inaccurate North Melbourne. The Saints 5-8-38 to the Roos 4-10-34. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron calling the action. Gemma Bastiardi down on the boundary. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy, your experts on ABC Sport. The Saints led at quarter time by 16 points. The Kangaroos put a 1-5 in the opening term. Max King making his return, his first game in 757 days. Took a mark in the second quarter against the boundary. His kick on goal went across the face of goal and a minor score. He has 1 kick and 1 hand pass to half-time. While 2 late changes for the Saints with Rowan Marshall out in the warm-up just moments before the game got underway with back stiffness. Anthony Caminiti came in and Dan Butler came in for Cooper Sharman, who has been managed. The Kangaroos with their shot on goal, 4 goals, 10, to which a lot of them have been set shots, 4-7. So the challenge with their captain, Nick Larkey, having his yips in front of goal. It has been contagious for the rest of the team. On the SMS, 0437 774 774. Donnie from Spearwood says, let's hope Brisbane take 4th spot on the ladder. They play Fremantle in Perth. That's one eye looking forward. Now, Brendan from Hobart is disappointed. We haven't had any Malcolm Blight stories from Benny as yet. There might be time. And we'll rattle through some more of your thoughts coming through on the SMS in a few moments' time. But for listeners that have just joined us, it was Brisbane who prevailed by 59 points over Port Adelaide. Will Ashcroft with 30 disposals, 12 score involvements and 2 goals. And Zach Bailey with 26 disposals, 8 marks and 3 goals in the Brisbane Lions' big win over Port Adelaide. The other news that has come out today, Noel Moraz from Hawthorn has spent the night in hospital with kidney issues. So concerning stories for him there in their big win over the Bombers yesterday. And Ty Gallop is going to be looked at for a dangerous tackle against Mitch Georgiades in the second quarter. So he's been one of the revelations for Chris Fagan, having gone from the forward 50 into defence in Brisbane's attempt to try and get to a 3rd grand final in consecutive years. The Saints by 4 points here at half-time. Bob Murphy, Daniel Harford. Yes, I think it's you, Harf.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Yeah, well, you said Bob Murphy, Daniel Harford. That's not my name. I'm just the second half of that. I'm the Daniel Harford
The
half.
tandem.
It does feel like we're one. To be fair.
Well, it's a fascinating game. And I think Bob hit it absolutely on the head in his summary late in the quarter when, can't remember who kicked the goal, it might have been Jack Darling, that the scoreboard was starting to reflect the contest. There's been so many opportunities that the Kangaroos have created. And just going through some of the numbers, they're fascinating, I reckon, anyway, from a statistical perspective. Like that quarter alone, North Melbourne had 36 uncontested marks to 9. So utterly dominant in terms of controlling the tempo of the play. Inside 50s was 13-10, which they were -6 at quarter time, though +3 for that quarter. So that's a positive. Marks inside 50 is off the charts. It's 14 marks inside 50. That was 9 that quarter to 3. So every time they get the possession of the footy and they're out of their D50, they're really pressing the Saints to get the ball back. It's become a bit of a challenge for the Saints to do that. So I'm fascinated to see what Ross Lyon does in their second half, because despite the fact that there is a very slender lead at half-time of 4 points, I would think he's the underdog at the moment. I would think he knows his team is actually not in the winning position at the moment. The way the Kangaroos have let themselves down by footers in front of goal with their set shots has been, well, heartbreaking for Kangaroos fans, but just woeful from a skill perspective. And that's what's kept the Saints in it to this point. So he's got a bit of work to do. And if I'm Alistair Clarkson, I'm selling the positivity. We are so good. Look at these numbers. Look how we're setting this game up. All we need to do now is take the opportunity.
Keep changing direction and keep doing it with pace. I mean, those uncontested marks are there. Well, there's going to be more of them on offer in more dangerous positions. When they win the ball at half back, they just need to start. First of all, they got to look inside. They don't instinctively do that, North Melbourne, so I'm not entirely sure why. They seem to want to go straight down the line, back to where the numbers are, and that plays into St Kilda's hands beautifully. On the odd occasion that they do change direction and they do it with pace, there is options all over the place for them. So I would imagine that's one of the talking points they would have had a chat about at half-time, and we'll see whether they can execute that in this third quarter.
The Saints' kicking efficiency in that second quarter is 53% too, which is woeful for this down to the football. So that's another area they can just sharpen up on and put a bit of pressure back on the Kangas defensively, because their clearance work's been really strong. They're 20-11 from clearance, they're 9-2 from centre clearance. So they're dominating contest and contested possession as well. They're plus 20 in that for the afternoon. So they're really dominating contest and clearance, but once the ball's in transition and then flow, well, certainly is on turnover from a North Melbourne perspective, the Saints cannot lay a glove on them at the moment, and that's opening up the forward half of the ground for them. So it's a fascinating contest, I reckon. If I wanted to be a coach at the moment, I'd want to be Alistair Clarkson. I reckon they're in the best position despite the fact that they are still trailing on the scoreboard, and that's perfect for Ross Lyon too. He loves being the underdog. So he'll be getting the Saints players really wound up, I reckon, for this resumption of play.
It's in the battle of the star midfielders, Nasai Wanganamilua, 24 disposals. He's had 3 score involvements, 3 inside 50s, 3 clearances, 557 metres gain. Going at a kicking efficiency of 55%. The return of Tom DeConey in the ruck, 13 disposals to halftime with Rowan Marshall laid out. And Harry Sheasel at the other end, 17 disposals, going at 90% kicking efficiency, kicked a goal as well, alongside his 4 score involvements and 1 clearance.
Yeah, I think in general play, the Kangas midfielders are having a bigger say on the contest, but through stoppage and clearance, it's the Saints mids that are getting it done. So there's 2 elements to the midfield battle at the moment. It's in tight, you give the points to the Saints, but in open play, I've got the Kangas on top.
I'm not sure if I'd have Naz in the votes at this point.
Well,
he's had a lot of the ball, and he's had a lot of metres gained, but we do judge him pretty harshly, but it hasn't been one of his more potent games.
Well, 11 of 20 have hit the target or been effective kicks. So he's had 24. 11 of those, 11 of his 20 kicks have been efficient.
There's effective, and then there's kicks that hurt them.
Yeah,
I haven't seen a heap of those, but I mean he has a big impact just because of the tempo and the amount of run that he does create. I understand that, but I'm not sure if it's his most potent.
No, I think that's fair. He's getting a lot of the ball. The Saints players, anytime he's in the vicinity, they'll give it to him, and that's fair enough too. He's a match winner, he's a game breaker, so you do that. Sometimes he's out of position when he does it and puts himself under pressure, and that's why he's got the percentage efficiency at the moment with his kicking. But I prefer to have the ball in his hands than most other players in the competition if I'm a Saints player or a Saints fan.
And Max King, he's got through a half, had 1 kick, 1 hand pass. His most compelling moment in the game was crashing into Cam Zurhaar, and maybe just a bit of frustration for him.
I would say for a 2-possession first half of Max King, he's looked good.
Yep.
They've missed him a few times when he was out. He doesn't look like he's labouring too much. He looks strong and athletic and reasonably sharp. So a solid outing so far for Max King.
We started on the bench for both the first and second quarters, came on about the 7 or 8 minute mark of both of those. So there'll be some managed minutes going on at the moment. He's going to start again on the bench in this third quarter. So clearly trying to look after him and manage his physical load today to get him through. I wonder what happens if it gets tight late in the last quarter if he starts.
So the players just moving into position for this second half. St Kilda leading by 4 points. North Melbourne 4-10-34. Could easily be leading themselves. St Kilda 5-8-38 have made more of their chances. They did kick 4 goals to 1 in the opening term. They kicked the first goal of the second quarter, St Kilda. North Melbourne responding with the last 3 as they closed in a 19-point deficit. They brought back to just 4 points at the main break. Self Ben Cameron, Matt Clinch, Daniel Harford, the former Hawk and Blue 2019 AFLW Coach of the Year, would have won it in 2020 had the season not been cancelled. Bob Murphy, the former Bulldog captain, played 311 games
12
for the Dogs. 312.
312.
Robbed you of one. My apologies.
How did you do that?
And Gemma Bastiani down on the boundary. Second half underway. Trembath into Koning. Trembath slaps it down. Wanganeen Malira onto it. Hooks a kick up towards half forward. Bouncing ball towards half forward. Overrunning it. Core goes back and wins it. It's a handball away to Simpkin. Roos on their back flank. Out to Core. Who kicks back inside defensive 50 and Zerha marks. He'll kick to fullback. It just finds Logue. Liam Ryan was dangerous. Top of the defensive goal square here for the Kangas. Short kick to Davies-Uniacke. From the back pocket. Lifts the kick very wide out. Just gets it to Stevens. Sliding into Mark. Right back flank. And he lifts the kick for Curtis. So North in a slow play. Kick Mark. Saints by 4 points.
Curtis quickly up the wing. Jack Darling in space. Takes the mark. And Caleb Daniel running past. Ignores that. Wants to be more creative into the middle of the ground. Never got to Finn O'Sullivan. And the intercepting mark taken in front of him. And the ball in the hands of Max Hall at half back.
Had Larkey out the back again.
Larkey was out the back. I'm not sure if Nick Larkey demanded that footy like he once would have.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting.
Ball into Wilkie, and now to Brad Hill. It cuts on his right, sends it out laterally. Winhager the target. Simpkin in from the side. Makes the spoil. Marcus Winhager, who was the subject of questions of Ross Lyon during the week about putting opponents to sleep and trying to have a bit of an impact. He has been predominantly playing across half back with the job on Jai Simpkin this afternoon. St Kilda by 4 points. Finn O'Sullivan alongside Wanganeen Miller up. Boxall alongside LDU. Sherry knocks it down to the front. Garcia's hand pass. Wanganeen Miller's hand pass. Looped it over for Hall. Caleb Daniel on in. Hall trying to knock it forward. The two tangle. No whistle. Hall gathers. Hand pass to Darcy Wilson. Fumbles it. Logue pressures him. Down low, Luke Parker tries to get a hand pass out for the Roos. Core is tackled immediately. It's in the right forward pocket for the Saints, and the umpire will ball it up.
I think Griffin Logue might be the most left-sided dominant player we've seen since like Scotty Lucas, Greg Anderson.
It's a Melbourne Cup field.
Yeah.
Sherry taps it down. Davies-Uniacke gives it back to Logue. On that left boot, kicks up to the wing. Bouncing ball lands on its point, tumbles towards the boundary, and Stocker carries it out. Curtis bumps him over.
We've got a cracker of a game, but 0437 774 774, the most left-sided dominant players in the history of the game. We've got Griffin Logue, we've got Scotty Lucas and Greg Anderson, just to sort of get us out off the mark.
Just an appetizer. Umpire flings it in. Tapping it down, Sherry. Simpkin doing the roving off to Davies-Uniacke. Handball into the corridor, dangerous. Wilson takes it for St Kilda off the hill. Hurries a kick out wide. And that will bounce and stay in. Parker gathers it. Roos ball again. Handball for Big Sherry. Waits for the bounce. Gets the handball back to Parker. Parker can kick to the logo. Opens it all up potentially for McKercher.
He looks up, has Cooper Trembath at left half forward. Larky's in the pocket.
Angles.
Can't get it to him. Wilkie corralled him well. Sends it along to Darling, who can't hang on to the mark. First onto it as it hit ground level. He has paid the mark.
He's paid it.
Everyone kept playing, including Jack Darling. And then once he realised the umpire was gesturing that the mark had been held, hang on, let's stop. Let's have the set shot then.
No, he was lucky. I don't think he marked that.
He didn't,
but he may have been dudded one in the second quarter. So if we lean into, if karma has any place in sport, perhaps balance has been restored.
I reckon that, the green has been rubbed the wrong way perhaps a few times for the Kangas.
Slightly left of centre, 25 metres out. This is what Jack Darling's been brought to the Roos forward. A kick goals, and he puts through his second.
Here we go.
And all of a sudden, North Melbourne take the lead by 2 points. 5-10-40 to St Kilda, 5-8-38. Just 4 minutes into the third quarter. They've had to go the long way, inaccurate in front of goal, but they find themselves in the lead.
Gee, when North Melbourne zigzag and cut angles and move the ball around at speed, they make St Kilda look second-rate, flat-footed, and really create some opportunities for themselves. And Jack Darling, who's done it for a long, long time, he just pulled it right back, gave himself enough space, and the Kangas just tic-tac their way up the field. But that angle change is causing St Kilda and Ross Lyon enormous problems.
First lead change of the afternoon. Someone's texted in with the most one-sided lefty I've thought of as well, as Garcia roves it from the rucks. Gives it out to Wood, driving ball to full forward, marking contest. Core punches it away. Zurha can't trap it. Garcia follows up, forward pocket for the Saints. Higgins goes in, handball out to Wilson. Centering snap across the goal mouth. It pitches, tumbles out. Boundary throw in right forward pocket. North by 2 points. 5 minutes into the second half.
Lockie from Footscray says Colby McKercher in this game on 0437 774 774. Paul from Geelong says Peter Sumich.
That's the one I was.
Oh, good non.
Good non.
Summer.
Wayne Wiedemann has also come through. The one that came to mind for me was Massimo D'Ambrosio, who
Yes.
I think Sam Mitchell spent a whole pre-season trying to get him to kick on his right. He still goes mostly on his left. Naz hemmed in against the boundary. Got a hand pass to Hall, to Ryan, trying to get back to Hall.
That's got to be out of bounds.
He curls it towards goal, and it goes through from minor score to the right. I think he was over the boundary line, but maybe kept the ball in. Kangas lead by a point. 6 minutes gone, third quarter. Gemma Bastiati on the boundary.
Oh, hello.
Garcia and Curtis
Yeah,
going.
yeah,
That is
it's proper.
That's a proper little wrestle, and they're fighting on the ground.
That's MMA stuff.
Yeah, it is a full-on grapple as the ball comes up to the wing. Davies Uniacke wins it. They're still going at one another. Ball
Still
bobbles on
going.
the wing. They're still wrestling. The ball's in their vicinity. Larkey wins it, gives it to O'Sullivan, sweeps it back to Comben. More players are being drawn in, like a black hole just expanding and drawing in other stuff.
Oh, Finney.
Trimbar takes the mark on the wing, gets dealt with, gives it off. Stevens driving kick. Spargo's in the goal square, goes up off his hands. Ball on the line. Silvani punches it through. All of that was in front of you, Gemma Bastiani. We don't see that too often.
No, and I was tracking Garcia because the doctors have been trying to get to him because he's got a right ankle complaint for the last couple of minutes. They were tracking from the boundary. And as he was coming to the boundary to see the doctor, he decided to put a body on Paul Curtis, and Paul Curtis was not having it. So a lot happening for Garcia. He's now getting that ankle looked at finally.
Luke Davies-Uniacke takes an intercepting mark on the wing for the Roos, drives it inside 50. Sherry's there, got hands to it, can't complete the mark. Here's Curtis spinning out of traffic, brought down by 3 Saints. Umpire says he got a hand pass away. Brad Hill, hand pass inboard to Stocker, to Mitch Owens, and now to Darcy Wilson. Chips it out to Max Hall, who marks it right half back.
Goes for a little gallop, takes a bounce, kicks infield. Wilson marks. He steps around 1, looks inside 50, short low kick. Gets her on the bounce to Higgins. Off to Caminiti. Flying snap is right of the target. Just sneaking through. North lead by a solitary point. Lead halved on that behind. 7.5 minutes into the second half. Hot start to it as well.
Sneaky good game. Bob called it early.
Max King has made his way back onto the field. 7 minutes into the third quarter. Is playing on Finn O'Sullivan. Kicks the Roos wide out towards half-back, and Trembach with a towering mark. He was able to work O'Connell underneath it. His kick is not great for Larkey though. He's led to the footy by Stocker, who takes the intercepting mark. He turns and looks to kick back. Ryan Burns is the free across half-back. He comes inboard for Filippo. North Melbourne by a point. Spots Brad Hill free on the wing. He's got Jack Silvani in the middle of the ground with 25 metres of space. The defender takes the mark. He plays on, looks into the pocket. Kick looking for Naz. Can't take the mark. Down low, he and Griffin Lowe tangling. The umpire will throw it in the right forward pocket for St Kilda.
Good match up, that one, for the Saints. Naz on Griffin Lowe.
The other interesting part about the Garcia tangle with Paul Curtis is umpire Nick Foote came across and just said to them, get on with it. Could have just played a free kick and they would have stopped.
Yeah, but who do you pay the free kick to?
Yeah.
Throw it in the pocket. Caminiti and also Sherry both miss it. Bounces to Stevens. Roos ball to Zurha. Handball errant. Windhager takes it for the Saints. Half forward for them. Handball finds Hall. Back to Windhager. Sheasel with the tackle. Impacts the kick. Simpkin picks it up. Parker gets it back to Sheasel. To Simpkin. Hurries the kick for the Roos to the wing. Trumba. Sticky fingers.
Great grab.
Reels it in one-handed.
Hold it up, young fella. Just take your time.
North with it on the wing. They lead by a point.
Oh, poor kick looking for Davies-Uniacke.
No, he's not good ball in hand when there's a bit of pressure on. He's a good launcher at the footy.
Brad
Work
Hill
on his composure.
takes the intercepting marks. St Kilda had the loose across half back. That was Wilkie. That's why he couldn't just blaze away. Kick inboard. She's almost spoiled away from Boxall. Hand pass to Butler. Brought down by McKercher, who's tripped in the end. The tackle started around the waist and ended up around the bootlaces. So Dan Butler gets out of jail.
Being played at a frenzy at the moment.
There's a bit of fatigue, guys. They've got sort of jelly legs at the moment.
Just the third disposal for Dan Butler, who was a late in for Cooper Sharman. Combines with Cal Wilkie and then short to Stocker. Back to Cal Wilkie. They've got it to left half forward. There's a player out all on his own. It's Darcy Wilson. He steps inside 50, fires on goal and he misses. He was given far too much grace. He had 15 metres of space. Decided to unload and missed to the left. Scores level, 41 apiece. 10 minutes gone, third quarter.
Caleb Daniel with the kick in. I called it off the top, an elimination final in July. And it feels, it just feels like that at the moment.
Backing over it beautifully.
Didn't mean to sound self-congratulatory.
You've done an amazing job of congratulating yourself.
I feel like half that Bobby and me are a bit of, I said earlier this, let's back over it right now. And they're just tussling the front and the back row.
I didn't mean it like that.
But not a 12-point game.
There's a little Donald Trump going on here between the two of them. I said this, no, I said that.
Sherry palms it down to Sheasel, who gives it to Simpkin, kicking around the wing. Off hands, dockside wing. As it came out of my mouth, I sort of wanted to put it back in there, but it was too late. Throwing half forward for North.
Just to balance things up, I've got a really embarrassing wrestling story that I wasn't going to share, but now I feel compelled. Okay, so just at the right time.
Okay. Don't adjust your dial.
Get a WA reference in there too. Would
Yes.
have loved.
5-11-41 apiece as it's thrown back into play. Mitch Owens wins the tap against Tristan Sherry, then tries to knock it forward. In the end, Paul Curtis just tried to put his slipper in there and clear the congestion. It ricochets off a few players. It's stuck underneath. Mateus Filippo. Who else is there? Tristan Sherry was there. And on the very end of the pack, Hugh Boxall from the ball up. Spills the way of Simpkin. Drives it along to the goal mouth. Larkey's out position. Wilkie juggles the mark. And on the third bite, he takes it 10 metres out from his defensive goal.
That's a great mark.
What a star he is. 174th consecutive game from debut today. Jared Crouch, 194 the record. Short to Burns, short to Hilby on the defensive arc now, the Saints. Hill kicks infield, defensive edge of the square, and Filippo marks.
It's a big challenge for Nick Larkey at the moment. He's coming up against one of the best key defenders in the game in Wilkie. He's got the yips, he is the captain, and he just needs to find it somehow.
Saints switch it to Windhager in plenty of space, and he bullets a pass onto the chest of Owens, who gives it to Liam Ryan, running the pocket, centering kick. Wangani Malira's down there. Oh, he's special. Wizardry to control it with one hand in the goal square. He cast a spell on that ball to just reel it in. It was just outside the goal square, in fact. So he's set on an angle, but this is a man who has more talent in his pinky than most of us mere mortals. And he used that pinky to mark it there.
It was a special grab.
Arcs around, snaps it through. He is just special. Saints by 6 points. 6-11-47 plays 5-11-41. Gemma Bastiani before Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy.
Yeah, Hugo Garcia got that ankle strapped and went through his run-throughs. There was a pause in the run-throughs because he was a bit distracted by what Naz was doing on the field, so it took a little bit longer than it needed to. Max Hall has also just come to the boundary, taking some painkillers, so I'll keep a watch on that, but he seems okay.
Naz having a spell after that. It's his turn to have a bit of a rest. Just watching Griffin Logue, the way he defended Naz, facing away from the ball. He had no idea that the ball had been given off. It just allowed Naz to dictate where that ball wanted to go. Liam Ryan's kick was very, very good.
It was a good pass.
Yeah, very good. But I hate the way Logue defended it. Probably didn't expect him to stick out the 1 mid and pluck it in, though. He's a player, isn't he? He's good fun to watch.
He is.
Pitched in between two Kangaroos players. Gave St Kilda back the lead. Back in the middle of the ground, Davies Uniac. In fact, it was Sheasel who was run down by Boxall. Spills out the way of Simpkin. Breaks the tackle. The former captain to LDU. He tries to break away from Brad Hill. Hand pass inside 50. Curtis has to try and slap away a half volley to McKercher. On that left, sends it to the goal square. Lucky! This time won't be denied. And he's going to kick it from a metre out. Why wait? And the North Melbourne captain makes sure of it. I think maybe Cap Darling said, just finish it off. And from a step out from the goal line, he puts it through for his first of the match. He's kicked goals in 17 of his 19 games this season and scores a level at 6-11-47 apiece. 15 minutes gone in the third term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Back down to Gemma Bastiani on the boundary.
Yeah, Max King came off for his rotation, went to get a rub down. He's been in a bit of a chat with the doctor and the physio. Now he's going down to the rooms, but on his own. He doesn't seem too worried, but now the doctors are following. So we'll keep an eye on that. He seems okay, but we'll see.
Well, that's only the third centre clearance for the Kangas all day. They've been mauled in that part of the contest. It just makes a difference when you get it in your forward 50 quickly with even numbers relatively. Nice kick across the face from McKercher. And Larky, he didn't do it because he was told to. He didn't want to take the set shot. That's what's happened there. And it was a goal for the Kangas. Well done.
Trembath hooking it down. Sheasel picks it up, feeds Trembath. Left foot kick inside 50. Through the hands of Larky. Darling out the back.
Clever.
Handles to space. Curtis runs it in. North 2 goals in 30 seconds. Curtis with a couple. And the Kangas are back in front. 7-11-53 by 6-11-47 quarter hour mark. Third term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Oh, I told you it was going to be a sneaky good game, and that's exactly what we've got. But there was a lot to love about that build-up. The centre clearances, as you mentioned, half have caused them, a fair few headaches today. That was a quick and direct entry. Larky, good contest. Jack Darling, just a really clever bit of forward craft from Jack Darling, who caught the ricocheted footy and just saw his teammate Curtis running open goal, and he just hoiked it over his left shoulder. Clever by Jack Darling.
Last 2 goals away the Roos in quick succession. Back in the middle of the ground. It's unable to be cleared by De Koning. Kick up towards half forward from Sheasel. Butler dumped in a tackle by Parker. Umpire says that's holding the ball. Jeez, I'm not sure there was much opportunity there, and Parker will take the free kick across half back.
Ball's in the air. He jumps to grab it like a mark. Gets tackled immediately, taken to ground. It's a free kick. That's ridiculous.
So Luke Parker has it at right half back. Plenty of your suggestions about famous left footers on 0437 774 774. Kick up the wing. Travalia had enough to be paid the mark against bench, and he will take it. All right, let me rattle through a few of these, Bob.
Yep.
Tony McGuinness.
Oh, yes.
Tony McGuinness.
Well, he was a good right foot kick.
Yeah, I think I can imagine him kicking on the right peg.
John Ironmonger gets a shout out from Steve in North Perth.
We need
you
to
might have to clarify that one for us, Benny.
Running off half back to the middle of the ground. O'Connell kicks inside 50 and Logue punches away from Liam Ryan out of play. An old Western Derby battle, perhaps in years gone by.
If I close my eyes, I cannot see Peter Sumich kicking it on his right foot.
I'm not sure he ever did.
Ever.
That's Scotty Lucas territory.
Yeah, the borderline wouldn't even need to wear a right footy boot. Could have got away with a Chuck Taylor on the right peg.
North by 6. De Koning takes it out of the ruck, hurries the kick to full forward, bouncing ball, Comben last line, hurries the handball out, Caminiti the first to respond. Back to Owens, he goes back to Wood, flying shot outside of the boot. Across the goal mouth, just sneaks it through for a minor score. North lead by 5 points. Gemma Bastiani.
Yeah, Hugo Garcia has just come back off the field. Big grimace on his face and getting that leg looked at again. It could just be a cramp, but we'll keep an eye.
So Max King down to the rooms. Max Hall off the ground, and now Garcia off as well. So a couple of Saints to keep an eye on. In the back pocket, Goda gave the short pass to McKercher, who wants to try and switch into the direction of Griffin Lowe.
I wonder if Max King's down there doing some sort of yoga, Pilates style. Honestly, I
reformer.
I think it could. Well, maybe not reformer, but maybe. I mean, you're kind of limited what you can do on the interchange bench.
He's only been on for 6 minutes or so.
Yeah.
You don't know Pilates like I do.
Stevens for the Roos, sends it up the wing. Boxall got it back to De Koning. Half pass little loose. Simpkin tries to knock it away, but Brad Hill trying to get it to Nasai Wangani Miller. In the end, Finn O'Sullivan steps it over the line. The boundary umpire says throw it in. In front of the 2 benches, North Melbourne by 5 points, 7-11-53 to the Saints 6-12-48. Earlier it was the Brisbane Lions by 59 points over Port Adelaide. Their 7th win on the trot. Will Ashcroft with 30 disposals and 2 goals, and Zach Bailey with 3 goals for the Lions. De Koning takes out of the ruck. Tries to feed a hand pass out towards Boxall, and Cooper Trembath slaps it over the line. Does the umpire say there was enough there? Yep, throw it in.
Good again.
Grant Birchall, another one for the left footers. Matty Knight's coming through from the Traralgon Tiger.
Thrown to the logo. Trembath underhanding it down. Filippo gathers the footy. Handball to Windhager under pressure. A little fumble. Off to Burns. Room to stop and kick towards half forward. There's a holding free kick. High free kick. It'll go to Mitch Owens.
They both had each other. Griffin just had him worse. If that makes any sense.
Owens feeds it off to Wanganeen Malera. Trying to go with the outside of the boot. Smothered by Lowe. Great desperate effort. Spills out to Ryan. High free kick.
Right.
Ryan going in really low. Any lower, he would have been underground. And he'll give it off to Wanganeen Malera from 50. Flying shot. Bringing it back. Sneaking it through. He's a one-man band. He's kicked their last 2 goals. And St Kilda swing the lead again. They lead by a point. Time on third term. 7-12 plays 7-11. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford.
Well, there's a right time and a wrong time, isn't there, Half, to give your users the ball, and we saw it, both sides of it there. So initially, Mitch Owens has the ball, and for really no really good reason, just hands it backwards to Nasiah Wanganeen Miller, who tries for too much and it gets smothered. It really didn't put them into much advantage.
Yep.
On the second occasion, you're putting him into space on the arc of his preferred right foot, and his class just comes to the fore. I mean, he's just got so much talent. He's beautiful to watch.
Saints back in the lead by a point. DeConey got it down to Filippo. Hand pass to Windhager. Steps through a tackle. Back to Filippo. Out of the middle of the ground. Kicks looking for Caminiti. It's wide of him and Griffin Lowe. Although it wasn't dealt with in the end by Logue. He tried to tap it back to Kaur. He's now tackled by Caminiti. And a ball up in the left forward pocket. Gemma Bastiardi on the boundary.
Yeah, the doctor came back up and had a very long conversation with some of the staff on the bench with a very serious look on her face and has just gone back down. So not sure things are too good for Max King right now.
All right, Max King in the room. So there's a concern. Just one kick, one hand pass. He has played around, I reckon, 12 minutes each quarter of game time. Spent the first sort of 7 or 8 minutes on the bench and then it's come on to have a bit of an impact.
Could be an issue with the reformer down there.
Yeah, I reckon.
Not rule that out.
The ring, have you tried the ring?
Yeah, complex bit of equipment.
Sherry wins down the tap against Caminiti. Numbers dive on top. Sheasel trying to knock it out. Gathered by Parker. Hand pass to Harvey. Back to LDU. It gets the hand pass away to Caleb Daniel. High up and under kick. Underneath it, it's spoiled away from Finn O'Sullivan. Gathered by Parker. Hand pass to Coder. He goes the run and dash. LDU from half back. Beautiful searching ball looking for Spargo. He takes the mark. He's between wing and half forward. Turns and comes inboard to Sheasel. He looks to centre it and finds Simpkin. He's just on the 50. Can loop it over the top and they've charged forward. Mark is taken by Bench in the right forward pocket. He's on a 45-degree angle.
They are susceptible to the change of direction.
Yeah.
When North Melbourne have that bravery and the skill execution to make that ground nice and big and kick on 45-degree angles, you can cut your way through the St Kilda numbers, because there were a lot of numbers flooding back for St Kilda, but it's the angle and the change of direction of the kicking that gets them into these scoring positions.
Zach Banch, 6 disposals and a behind so far this afternoon. Out to the right. He cuts through 50, strikes it from 45 and misses to the right-hand side. He has 2 behinds but draws scores level. That's 7-12-54 apiece, 23 minutes gone. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. 0437 774 774 the SMS number.
You want to mention Mark Bayes yet?
Not yet.
Great nomination.
Consider him nominated.
Saints chipping it around across their last line of defence. Ends up with DeConey. Left back pocket. Kicks a low ball out to the wing. Punched away by Goda. Bounces back to halfback of St Kilda. Struckers onto it. Spargo got a shove from DeConey. An attempted block, and he's given away a free kick.
Yeah, off the ball. He was going to be the one that chased whoever it was. Burns, perhaps.
Saints were about to be away down the city wing. Instead, Spargo, inside 50 entry. Kick not a great one, and Silvani is able to get there and mark it fullback for the Saints, and he can run away with it.
Windhager's just come on from the bench, spots him. He juggled the mark in front of Logue, who just impeded him in the end and gave away the free kick. So Marcus Windhager has it in front of the 2 benches. Max King down in the rooms. It's reported by Gemma Bastiardi. in his first game in 756 days. Works it back to Cal Wilkie. Hand pass to Wanganeen Miller at 2 goals in this third quarter. Out to the wing. Big ball for O'Connell to win. He slaps it out into the path of Ryan Burns. It goes across the boundary line. Must be a lasso free kick. Umpire says no. And a boundary throw in. Centre wing on the outer side. Scores level 54 apiece. Mitch Turner back in the studio has nominated Clinton Young and Nathan O'Driscoll. A couple of good shouts.
Yep.
Brent Guerra is another one coming through from Trav in Queensland. These are left foot specialists who didn't really use their right foot at all.
Never.
Scores level, thrown on the wing. Garcia extracts the footy out to Filippo, dashing by, kicks short for Owens. Right there with him, Comben trying to follow up.
Advantage.
Filippo has as a free kick, it'll come back.
There's more doctor person on the phone and security bench conversation going on at the moment, or there just was.
It's busy down there, isn't it, Harv?
Very busy.
This is telling and slightly concerning.
Peak Bastiani season it is.
Yep.
He loves it.
So Mitch Owens with the free kick. Sets it up towards the hot spot. Zurha camps underneath it. Caminiti trying to claim it.
Good grab.
Pay the player in front. And the mark goes to Zurha at fullback. North ball, last line of defence. He shorts it to Caleb Daniel.
Comes inboard to Paul Curtis. Hand pass to McKercher. Plays on. Ran into Darcy Wilson. Has to get a hand pass away out of desperation. Slapped on by Curtis. Harvey gathers. Hand pass to Sherry. O'Sullivan almost run down by Naz. There was no Bill Laurie because he got a kick away. Taken by Ryan Burns. Chips it over the top to Naz. Left half forward. 2 goals in this quarter. Spots up Wilson, who marks in the left forward pocket. He wants to play on. Almost tackled. Curls it towards goal and puts it through. Bump of the fist from Darcy Wilson as Harvey almost got him at the last moment as he decided to play on immediately. St Kilda back in front by 6 points. 8-12-60 to North Melbourne 7-12-54. Let's head back down to Gemma on the boundary.
Both the physio and the doctor back up. As Half said, they've been having chats, and the physio just said to the bench attendant, it's definitely stable, but I don't know whether that means he continues to play. So we're waiting on an update from St Kilda here, but I'm not anticipating Max King to return to the field.
Well, that's not language you use for a hamstring.
That's not soft tissue.
No.
So only lasted into the second quarter in his VFL. Second game back in round 6 against the Blues, and now in the third quarter. Looks like Max King's afternoon might be done in his first AFL game since 2024.
Had multiple knee surgeries in that 767-day stretch out of the game. So that is a real concern if it is knee-related. Good news that it is stable, but if it is a knee injury, that's not ideal. St Kilda with the free kick in the middle. Wood off the hill, kicks into the pocket. Filippo in good position. Goes over his head, follows up at ground level. Caleb Daniel there too. Bouncing ball, Harvey wants the boundary line and he gets it. Carries it out, Saints by 6. Closing in on three-quarter time.
So it's about 35 minutes of game time, Max, today. Just over 35 minutes. 11, 18 and 5 and a bit each quarter.
11, 18 and 5. That was always going to be the biggest concern, is would he get through the game, and then, because he's such a valuable commodity, do they just call it a day, not take any risk? Garcia, there's such a valuable 4 points to be claimed this afternoon. St Kilda by 6 points. Garcia is brought down by Harry Sheasel, and the umpire will ball it up in the left forward pocket for St Kilda.
I'll tell you who's sneaking into the votes, Naz.
He's taken that halftime feedback on board.
Word might have just filtered through to him.
He took it personally.
Sherry tried to take it to the ruck. He's tackled by Mitch Owens, and the umpire throws it up once more. This time it's shark forward by Davies Uniacke, but Darcy Wilson read it best. He curls it around Harvey. Goes straight up in the air, touched off the boot. Davies Uniacke tackle, brought down by Mitch Owen. He was tripped.
Yep.
So the Roos midfielder will get a free kick in the right back pocket. St Kilda by 6 points.
He's a favourite of mine, Bob and Half, who's coached both of these teams. Long kick up towards the wing, and Trevelyan takes the intercept mark.
Oh, hang on.
Hang on.
You can't even say it with a straight face, can you?
Are we playing for the cup today?
Trevelyan kicks towards full forward. Up goes Comben through his hands. Last line, there's a whistle, free kick. It'll go to the Saints.
Guess who?
Nasai Wanganeen Malira shepherded out of the contest. And he will try and kick his third goal, which would make it 3 out of 4 for the Saints.
Keen to see a replay.
Spending more time forward in this third quarter.
Hooks it through. And Nasai, the Messiah, 9-12-66 plays 7-12-54. Saints by 2 straight kicks, closing in on three-quarter time. Gemma Bastiani before Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy.
Just for something a little bit different, Cooper Trembath just working through a right leg concern at the moment. He's been running up and down the boundary, but he doesn't look convincing at all. So North Melbourne with injury concerns of their own.
Right, I see a replay of the kick in board. He starts with a bit of space. Zerha's the one that's going to get somewhere near him. Oh, I don't know about that. That's not a free kick. That's a bad decision. There's been some poor marking decision free kicks today, I reckon.
Especially given Common got hands to the footy.
Yeah.
He could have made the case that he was almost tunnelled in the end.
Correct. Yeah, no,
that's what I thought the free kick was for initially, that it was a tunnelling free kick. You're right there, Clinchy.
12-point lead the way of the Saints, back in the middle of the ground. Boxall gets a hand pass out to Winhager. The Saints will go forward once more. Drives it up inside 50. Mitch Owens flies. Comben makes the spoil. Spills to the front. Davies Uniat runs onto it. Hand pass inboard to Scott. Now to Harvey. Kicks off the outside of the boot. Out towards Banch. Now Sheasel's gone down in the middle of the ground. Stocker lays the tackle. That was in the back and a free kick going the Roos way.
Might have a knee issue.
Did you see what happened to Sheasel?
Yeah, just saw a replay. Body checked by De Koning.
Right, okay.
Oh, they've coughed it up there. Banch gives it off. Travalia takes it. Floats a kick quickly towards half forward. Bouncing ball. Nasai gets rid of Comben. Free kick.
Can't do that, Naz.
North ball.
He's had 10 and kicked 3 goals in his term. It's been a fair quarter from Naz. Let's be honest, he's been the difference in the contest.
Been a fair quarter from Nasai Wanganeen Malira. St Kilda by 12 points. Comben to Parker, exiting kick to the wing.
Touch play on.
Intercepts.
Got high contact.
Given the free kick, Wood kicks up to half forward. Philippo accepts it and points a goal. The mark is 2 metres inside the centre square.
No way.
The umpire says you can't take the time, so he pokes it towards half forward. And Brad Hill marks 48 metres out. He points a goal. The umpire says, I'll allow you your 30.
So they've learned from Aaron Mackay.
Here's a thumping kick, Mateus Philippo, but I'm not sure he can hit it quite that far.
I tell you who was a big kick of the football was Malcolm Blight.
Coach both of these teams. As Bradley Hill shoots on goal from outside 50. Out to the right, he was a player coach, I think, in 81.
Well, you'd know. You talked to him that much.
I talk about him that much. I'm not sure I talked to him that much. St Kilda lead by 13 points, closing in on three-quarter time.
I think he might have blocked Benny's number. Cheerio to the Hall of Fame member Malcolm Blight, who does get a mention every Sunday afternoon in one way or another.
Well done.
Looking for Harvey. Spoiled away by Mason Wood. Getting back, Coleman gets the hand pass to Darling back in the back pocket. Kicks up towards Stevens. O'Connor works his way to the front. He takes the mark at right half forward for St Kilda.
They close base better than anyone. Have a look at the bench, looking for messages.
Turns to the bench, realises time's almost out, but he probably doesn't have the kick in him, so sends it to the pocket. To Koning the target. Up comes Comben with Darling's support. In the end, it goes out of play. A throw in the right forward pocket for St Kilda. After the Saints led by 16 points at quarter time, 4 points at half time. The Roos were able to wrestle the lead early in this third quarter. The Saints leading by 13 points, heading towards three-quarter time.
Boundary throw in. Siren beats them all. So St Kilda, having kicked 1 goal in over a quarter of football, kicked 3 to finish the third term and made it a 4-3 third quarter to turn their 4-point halftime lead into a 13-point advantage at the final change. The goal kickers, Nasai Wanganeen Malira, he has 3, all of which came in that third term, to go along with 11 disposals. Quite remarkable. 10 disposals in that third quarter. Then it's just individuals: Higgins, Hill, Owens, Burns, Boxall and Caminiti. While for North Melbourne, 2 to Curtis, 2 to Darling. Then you're looking at Whitlock and you're looking at Sheasel, as well as the skipper Nick Larkey, who got his name on the score sheet.
Earlier it was the Brisbane Lions by 59 points over Port Adelaide, 19-12-126 to the power, 9-13-67. The Lions' 7th win on the bounce. Gemma Bastiani on the boundary, so Max King headed down to the rooms in that third quarter. We haven't seen him since, and the concern is the report you heard from the doctor around his knee being stable, but not a lot more information other than that.
I will clarify, I didn't hear a joint, I just heard it is stable. So, but the other part is both the doctor and the physio that went down with him came back up without him. So that's also not a great sign, because typically if he's being worked on, one of them is down there with him or he's come back up. So that's what I'm concerned about. We haven't seen him come back for this three-quarter time break either, which is a bit of a concern. Hugo Garcia is all good after he came back off a second time. He just had lots of cramps in both of his calves, and Max Hall is all good as well. But watch still on Max King. We're still waiting on the Saints. They're chasing it for us, but we don't have an answer yet.
All right, thank you, Gemma. Featuring in his first AFL game since 2024 for Max King. He might be done before three-quarter time. The final quarter still to come. Great to have your company on Sunday Footy on ABC Sport.
I'm Maureen McGillicuddy.
And I'm Edith Vale.
And we host Another Cuppa.
Will we natter away with some of Australia's biggest names?
Pop the kettle on with Granny Bingo.
Woke garbage.
Exactly. Search Another Cuppa podcast on ABC Listen.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Saints switch it to Windhager in plenty of space, and he bullets a pass onto the chest of Owens. He gives it to Liam Ryan, running the pocket, centering kick. Wangani Malira's down there. Oh, he's special. Wizardry to control it with one hand. He casts a spell on that ball. Arcs around, snaps it through. He is just special. Saints by 6 points.
Curtis has to try and slap away a half volley to McKercher on that left, sends it to the goal square. Lucky! This time won't be denied. And he's going to kick it from a metre out. Why wait? And the North Melbourne captain makes sure of it.
Trembath hooking it down. Sheasel picks it up, feeds Trembath. Left foot kick inside 50. Through the hands of Larkey. Darling out the back. Head to space. Curtis runs it in. North 2 goals in 30 seconds. Curtis with a couple. And the Kangas are back in front.
Oh, I told you it was going to be a sneaky good game, and that's exactly what we've got.
Ryan going in really low. Any lower, he would have been underground. And he'll give it off to Wangani Malira from 50. Flying shot, bringing it back, sneaking it through. He's a one-man band. He's kicked their last 2 goals. And St Kilda swing the lead again. They lead by a point. Time on third term. Trevellia kicks towards full forward. Up goes Comben through his hands. Last line, there's a whistle, free kick. It'll go to the Saints.
Guess who?
Nasiah Wangani Malira shepherded out of the contest. And he will try and kick his 3rd goal, which would make it 3 out of 4 for the Saints. Hooks it through. And Nasiah, the Messiah.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Three-quarter time at Docklands as we turn for home. St Kilda lead by 13 points over North Melbourne. 9-13-67 to the Roos. 7-12-54. The Saints in 10th spot on the ladder. 8 wins and 10 losses. The Kangaroos trying to fight their way into that wildcard spot. They're 8 wins and 10 losses in 13th spot with a worse percentage. Gemma Pastiati's on the boundary for us.
We do have an update on Max King, and more positively, it's hamstring tightness out for the game. Clinchy, I feel like you half and I are maybe bad luck charms for Max King, because last time he had a return game, the 3 of us were doing it. He hurt his hamstring and he was out for another few weeks, so I'm going to say the 3 of us no longer able to call the Saints.
Yep, and a hamstring injury would be frustrating for Ross Lyon, but that's probably a good result. But with the rounds ticking down for the home and away season, the ability to try and get Max King out there is proving a challenge. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron calling the action. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy, your experts. The Saints by 13 points at three-quarter time. And a dominant third quarter, Bob Murphy, from your man, Nasiah Wangani-Millera.
Well, he always gets a lot of the footy, Nasiah, and he had a heap of it in the first half. And it was my opinion that he wasn't as damaging as what he sometimes can be. Well, he flipped the script on that in the third quarter. I mean, he's still got a lot of the footy, 10 disposals, but he absolutely erupted. He went forward more. He caused all sorts of headaches for the North Melbourne defence, and he's the difference at the moment. So the Saints are 13 points up. They'll have to do it without Max King in this last quarter. But Nasiah put his stamp all over that third quarter, and they nudged themselves in front. North Melbourne not without a shot, but they need to find more of the footy when they change angles and when they take the game on. They can make St Kilda look a little flat-footed, but at the moment, St Kilda, their hunger to defend and their match winner are the difference at the moment.
Yeah, I reckon you're right. Big quarter from Naz was clearly one of the keys to that, but also just the way they wanted to get the ball back. They shut down the Kangas' uncontested mark game. We talked about that in the second quarter. It was 36-9 in favour of the Kangas. That quarter it was 31-28 in favour of the Saints. So they've totally flipped that and restricted the Kangas' ability to move the ball in uncontested mark fashion. So they put more pressure on their run and carry game and trying to get through the defence. Didn't quite work. And the Saints got the ascendancy in the game. As we see Naz go to the goal square at the start of his last quarter as well. So he's the one they've identified. I like the match up with him and Griffin Logue, I must admit. Might have touched on that before, so congratulations.
It's the theme of the day.
It's the theme of
Griffin
the day.
Logue, he's looked vulnerable all day, Griffin Logue.
Final quarter underway. St Kilda by 13 points. Non-officiated umpires said that the ruckman Tristan Sherry stood over the line, so free kick going the way up to Koning. Sends a high ball inside 50. Parker getting back. Takes the mark in front of Harvey and Jack Higgins. Luke Parker into the middle of the ground. Kicks for Jai Simpkin. Has players on the overlap. Caleb Daniel takes the mark. Tries to keep the ball in transition. Kicks up to Finn O'Sullivan.
I like this.
It has Trimbath wide. Stretching St Kilda's defence. Hand pass boundary side where Stevens has kicked looking for Sherry, who's pushed forward and then De Koning just crashes into him. He's out against the boundary line at left half forward. He's 50 out from home though.
I reckon that's the mode for the Kangas. If they want to win this game, that's the way it has to be. Like the old total football, just keep the ball in movement, control possession, don't have to go long. Movement's good.
Larky's in the goal scorer alongside O'Connell. No real leads at the moment, so Tristan Sherry is lining up towards goal. He might just poke it towards the goal square. Darling's the target, works his way to the front. Silvani crashes into him late. Wilson gets a hand pass out to Winhager in the back pocket, to Hill in a tight bind. Hand pass to Burns. He's tackled by Dylan Stevens. The umpire will ball it up in the left forward pocket for the Kangaroos.
It's good pressure, good forward pressure for the Kangas.
Up it goes quickly. Neither ruck's there in time. The ball bounces. Sherry can't trap it. Filippo can. Out to Boxall. Tries to fend off Davies Uniacke. Just gets rid of it. On to Tom
High
DeConing.
tackle.
There's a free kick.
And the zone's called high tackle.
Jacob Mollison, the
Don't know on
Patterson
who.
umpire. It was way back on Boxall.
Oh, right.
His kick dangerous. Chopped off by Trimbath. It'll sit up for Darling. Has to gather it close to the behind post. Shrugs a tackle. Tries to shrug a second. And pulls it through. St Kilda lead by 12 points. 2 goals. 2 minutes into the fourth. Just repeating, Max King out of the game with hamstring tightness.
It's taken by Mason Wood at half back. They're on the overlap here. Up to Stocker. He marks between wing and half forward. Curls on his right. Has Ryan in the pocket. Kicks out in front of him. Griffin Logue made the spoil. Lost his footing though. So Ryan gathers. He's now 65 from home. Cuts back on his right. Tries to poke a kick to Higgins, who takes the mark. It's good composure from Liam Ryan. He just waited for Higgins to get into space. Get clear of Caleb Daniel. And a chance for St Kilda to extend their lead early in the final term.
Interesting that Naz was kicking that ball in too for the Saints. So he's just pretty much going to go wherever he likes in this last quarter, wherever he feels he's needed.
So playing full forward and going down to take the kick in.
Yeah, what a great combo. Can't remember Jason Dunstall doing
No. Jack Higgins has 6 disposals this afternoon. A goal next to his name as he comes in from just inside 50, leans back. It's out to the right and through for a minor score. So the Saints extend their lead, but only by 1, a 13-point lead. Bill asks on the SMS, 0437 774 774. Who wins from now?
I'm still on the Saints.
Yeah, Saints.
Harvey brings it in to Parker, who gives it off to Caleb Daniel. Kick up to the wing. Larky contesting it. Juggling it down in the end. The St. Boxall marked it about an inch off the ground in the end. Had 3 or 4 bites at it. Goes back to Silvani.
I've just gotten used to Jack Silvani in the St Kilda jumper so quickly. Just looks right, feels right, is right.
Shorts it to Wangani Malira and moves it on to Hill. Attacking edge of the square here, the Saints in a slow play on the build-up.
I reckon they'd be wrapped with his acquisition.
Hill goes inside 50. Comben intercept mark. Roos back with it. Back pocket. Trailing by 13. 4 minutes into the fourth.
Comben sends it out to half back where the mark is taken against the boundary line by Stevens.
So it's the short kicks from here which have opened up the Saints all day long.
Game 100 for him. Comes inboard to Parker. Hand pass to Sheasel.
There you go.
Through the middle of the crowd. O'Sullivan marks it. Opens up for Harvey. They're out the back here. Darling racing back towards goal. Lucky as well. It clears Darling. Silvani did well. Crashed into him. Ball at ground level. Knocks it away from Panch. Stuck underneath Silvani now. Darling wrestles with him. Umpire winds up, but then says it's a ball up. I think for just a moment, a few of the North Melbourne forwards thought they were going to get the free kick, not to be.
It's a bit of a... I mean, it was incredible play from Jack Silvani, but just to put the arms up and I can't get rid of it, that's a dangerous game to play. Umpires, they want to see you...
Sherry down to O'Sullivan, hurrying a kick on goal. Sorry, Bob.
No, quite right.
Just tumbles out.
Darling actually tucked it into Jack Silvani, so the umpire actually made the right call, but from where we were looking, didn't look like that.
Maybe Darling should have been penalised.
Maybe.
Throw in right forward pocket here for North. Saints by 13. 5 into the fourth term. The Koning wins the tap. Hill's there to receive it. Gives it off towards Wilson. Short left foot snap just beyond the defensive arc. Picked off there by Sheasel. Gives it to Goda. Back to O'Sullivan, under pressure. Nice little handball to Goda. He gives it for Harvey. Through his hands. Cause there. Hurries a kick into the pocket. Darling trying to respond. Holding free kick.
Yeah, Curtis was holding Stocker.
Yeah, it'll go the way of the Saints in the back pocket. So the attacker doing the infringing there. Saints with it, back pocket. They lead by 13. 5.5 played in the fourth.
Stocker gestures for someone to lead towards him. They don't, so he has to kick it long down the line in the direction of Mitch Owens. In from the side, Boxall landed awkwardly on the middle of his back. It's gathered by Aiden Core, hard against the boundary line. Curls it to half forward. Koning goes up against Goda. Koning loses his footing. Goda has it stuck underneath him. Now Jack Silvani wrestles it clear. Hand pass to Darcy Wilson. TDK gave it back to the run of Darcy Wilson. Sends it up to Naz, who rises on the back of Luke Parker. Can't take the mark. Caleb Daniel put his head in the hole. Gets a hand pass out to Finn O'Sullivan. He can't break away. And the umpire will ball it up in the middle of Docklands. St Kilda by 13 points. 9-14-68 to North 7-13-55.
Sherry taking it out of the ruck. Gets a handball away towards Sheasel. On towards Parker, then to Daniel. Stolen by Nasiah Wanganeen Malira. Steps one, steps a second. Outside of the boot. There are 5 eyes in individual brilliance. He is magnificent. 4 goals for Naz. St Kilda by 19. And he has kicked 4 of their last 5 goals in the game.
Are you a gamer half?
Yes. Well, I used to be, yeah.
Cheat code?
You know, yeah, when you can go the turbo. It's not really my thing, but I know that some really good players, they have the thumb dexterity to go turbo mode.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Nasiah Wanganeen Malira is doing at the moment. Gets the ball off Caleb Daniel, so sort of tackle, smother, steal.
The irony is, he was the ruck.
He was the ruck, yeah.
He was the ruck against Sherry as the ball came to ground. He was the one that just kept following.
So he started as ruck, then steals the ball off Caleb Daniel, then he throws in a balk, and then it's a right foot banana running the wrong way.
10-14-74 plays 7-13-55, 7 into the fourth.
Owens one down the tap to Boxall, got it to Windhager, trying to get the hand pass back to Boxall. Desperate times now for the Roos. Finn O'Sullivan over the footy, tries to win it. The young Roo tackled and brought down, gets a hand pass forward. Davies Uniac tries to slap it on, ricochets out to Darcy Wilson. Hand pass to Butler, hand pass to Brad Hill. At right half forward, sends it inside 50. Naz comes crashing out into Comben, who was able to hang on to the mark.
Still got to be bold here, the Kangas.
Comben called to play on, so feeds the hand pass out towards the back pocket where Griffin Logue sends it up the wing and Dylan Stevens marks. St Kilda by 19 points.
Change direction. No, that's not it.
Invite the pressure as he gets a hand pass to Griffin Logue and now to Daniel.
That is.
Kicks into the middle of the crowd. Mark taken by LDU. Hand pass to Jai Simpkin inside 50. Out of position Darling. Jack Silvani didn't get a free kick. Larky gives it back to Darling, who dribbles through the goal. Darling with his third. And the Kangas stay in this contest. Jack Silvani might feel a little unlucky in that marking contest to not get a free kick, but Jack Darling made good when the ball hit the ground. And the Saints lead is cut back to 13. A goal apiece in this final term. St Kilda 10-14-74 to the Roos 8-13-61.
So it's that little dink kick again coming out of of half-back, offline as Bob was calling for, and then they get the speed on it. Once they get to the centre of the ground or just in front of it, it's the release player really quick, and the key forwards running back to goal. Both Larkey and Darling had goal side position against their opponents. The kick wasn't fantastic, in fairness, from Simpkin, but it came to ground, and they were the ones that kept their feet. So the way that they work up these key posters and then they get back really quick. They jump up the back fence to a degree. Once the ball's brought back into the centre of the ground, they know what's supposed to happen from there.
Back in the middle, Owens goes really high, taps it down, but Simpkin takes it for North. Off to Davies-Uniacke, floated a full forward. Wilkie juggling marking.
Good mark.
The wall of Wilkie at fullback.
Horrible kick from Davies-Uniacke.
Horrible.
And he stabs it short for Hill. Hill connects it, not his best kick. Kicks it back to Davies-Uniacke. Spills the mark. Chest mark, unopposed, dropped it. Slaps it out to Goda, tackled, holding the ball. Tried to fend off, caught. That's your prior opportunity.
He's had a mare LDU there for the last 45 seconds.
And Hugo Garcia with that sore ankle hobbles up to take the kick. Saints by 13. North have had their chances, but it's been laborious for them.
As the kick comes inboard, Darcy Wilson takes the mark. Garcia still looks like he's not moving all that well. The switch kick across half-back, and Jack Silvani marks. So Steve Silvani at half-time had the young boy as well with the number 3 in the St Kilda jumper. Jack's young son. As the mark is taken at right half-back. Cal Wilkie has it. The former accountant comes inboard and finds Brad Hill, who plays on away from Charlie Spargo. Sends a high kick up the wing. North have the numbers. Sherry in the end, spoiled by his own teammate in Zerha. Hand pass intercepted by Windhager. It's back underneath Sherry and also Zerha. Now spills out. Mitch Owen gets a hand pass away to Windhager, who cuts on his right. Kicks out wide, looking for Higgins. He just hangs on to the mark. O'Sullivan trying to get back to get some body contact. And in the end, Higgins has landed awkwardly right where the synthetic turf takes over from the Docklands turf there. It's a hard place to land. He's hemmed in up against the fencing here, Jack Higgins. 7 disposals, 2 marks and a goal this afternoon.
Breezy pocket.
What chance you give him out of 10, Bob?
1.
Jack Higgins puts it to the teeth of goal instead. Tristan Sherry's there. Coleman over the top. Awkward landing. Simpkin gathers in the end. Hand pass back to the last line of defence. Taken by Goda. Sends it up to Whitlock. A 2-on-1. Clark there with O'Connell. Hunter Clark juggles the mark, but he was shepherded out of it, Whitlock, by O'Connell. Costly free kick.
Whitlock on the back flank. Just pokes it short. McKercher accepts it. Pokes it to Zerha. Zerha looks more route 1. Short to Caleb Daniel, who plays on, feeds the handball. Low gun to the pump, gets rid of it. Simpkin running through the middle of Docklands. And he was put down, free kick downfield.
Yeah, that's costly.
Hugo Garcia, no, it'll come back.
Yeah.
So it must have been high contact at the point of kicking, not late. In the middle of the ground, Simpkin feeds it to Caleb Daniel, who gives it back to Simpkin. Simpkin looks inside 50. It's congested. Sherry stands tall, marks 25 out, directly in front.
Geez, this would make it interesting, wouldn't it? Let's get it back to 7 points. And they look dangerous all afternoon inside forward 50 from a marking perspective. Absolutely owned that area of the game. So that's about no answers.
The big blokes don't get any shorter the longer the game goes.
2 coaches' votes last week. Tristan Sherry sprays it right.
Oh, T-bomb.
2 goals, St Kilda's lead, 13-minute mark of the 4th term.
They are creating opportunities, though, aren't they, North Melbourne? If they can find enough of the football.
It's 8-14 plays 10-14.
Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron calling the action. Gemma Bastiardi on the boundary. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford, your experts. Hunter Clark in. Got it from Messiah Wanganeen Miller. Now gives it back to Naz through Cal Wilkie. Off and bounding across the defensive 50. Switches it to Darcy Wilson. It gives it back to Naz. His 4th involvement in this passage up to the wing. Kick is over the head of Boxall, who races after it. Butler's in the way, trying to get out of the way of Boxall in the end. The 2 become the tacklers on Luke Parker. And the ball is stuck underneath him between wing and half forward for the Saints. St Kilda by 12 points, 14 minutes gone in the final term. Saints holding on to just outside the top 10 at the moment with the Blues victory yesterday. De Koning rises, wins down the tap against Sherry. Acrobatic as he tried to knock it on to Filippo. It goes out of play.
Throw in on the wing. Saints by 2 kicks. Approaching a quarter-hour mark, or the quarter-hour mark, the final term. Sherry and De Koning. Sherry with the full palm down in front. Gets it to Sheasel, who feeds it out to Simpkin. Hurries a kick. Silvani a good fist. Down in front for Hill. Gathers on the logo for the Sainters. Gives it back to Burns, who retreats to O'Connell, the Irishman. O'Connell happy to hold it up. Brad Hill offering short very wide. That's where he heads. Doing the very slow play. Brad Hill telling them to come at him. He kicks it short infield on the 45 for Hunter Clark. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. We've got a good finish. 2 teams fighting for a wildcard place.
Clark comes inboard. Travalia marks at the back edge of the centre square. St Kilda by 12 points. Travalia called to move it on. Ignored the lead of Boxhalls and now has to drive it long in the direction of Caminiti and TDK. Caminiti rises, can't take the mark, spills out to the front. Mitch Owens can't gather. Pressure comes from the Roos. McKercher tried to break his way through. Can't do so as Caminiti lays the tackle. Max King was out at 3/4 time with hamstring tightness. And he just had 1 kick and 1 disposal, had 1 shot on goal in the second quarter. In his return to AFL footy for the first time since 2024. Darcy Wilson tries to tap it out. Filippo got it out to Travalia, taken high, advantage taken. Travalia with a centering kick, looking for Winhager. Can't take the mark. Higgins the crummer, cuts it onto his right, and puts it through. Lowe trying to lunge there to get a hand to it, but he was over the goal line. And the St Kilda fans rise here. Jack Higgins with his second. And that stretches it out to an 18-point lead the Saints' way. 2 goals to 1 in the final term. St Kilda 11-14-80. To the Roos, 8-14-62. 16 minutes gone in the final term. I'm sure they'll review this to make sure Griffin Logue was over the line. But Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford, your experts on ABC Sport.
It's like a good boxer, aren't they? St Kilda just keeping North Melbourne at arm's length. North still look like they could kick a winning score even from this late stage of the game. But St Kilda just able to keep them to that 2 and 3 goal margin. Jack Higgins there, he doesn't miss too many from that range. He's looked dangerous today. Hasn't had a huge impact, but he has looked dangerous, Jack Higgins.
Restart in the middle. Garcia's onto it, hurrying a kick to half forward. Quick kick inside, attacking 50. Bouncing ball. Ryan goes in nice and low, tackled high. And he'll get the free kick. Liam Ryan, who leads St Kilda's goal kicking.
Poor tackle.
Yeah, he leant in. He was looking for the free kick, no doubt. But Griffin Lowe's got to be better than that.
He's had a dirty day, Griffin Lowe.
Well, they've been pretty sloppy a lot defensively with their tackling, the Kangaroos at times. They've given away a lot of free kicks they didn't need to give away. You can see in the replay, it's a great camera angle. Ryan just launching into Griffin Lowe, waiting to be hit.
Only goalless once as a Saint. Hasn't kicked a goal today. He has now. And St Kilda lead by a game high 24 points. 17 minutes into the fourth, 12-14-86. Plays 8-14-62. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford.
But it's another centre clearance. That's what it is. It's been a pantsing. 18 to 5. Oof.
Yeah, for a side who prides themselves on centre clearance work.
Well, we talked about the midfield being the opportunity for the Kangas today. Now they've shown another layer, which is somewhat positive from a transition perspective. But 18 to 5 in favour of St Kilda from centre clearance. Good luck. Good luck winning any games if that's going against you to that margin.
3 of the last 4 goals of the match, 6 of the last 7. As the Saints get 24 points clear at the 18-minute mark of the final term. De Koning in his return, up against Trembath here. Trembath rises, slaps it clear, gains 15 metres. Sheasel shoves his opponent out of the way, gathers for North, kicks inside 50, wide of Larkey. Silvani on the bounce, tries to tap it down to Travalia. O'Connell, clever, trying to get it on to Hall. He's ragdolled by Kennedy, by Jack Darling, and the ball spills underneath him, and that'll be a free kick going the way of the Saints. There's a bit of pushing and shoving going on here with Darling.
Yeah, they've called the sling tackle, dangerous
sling
tackle.
On Max Hall. He gets it around the back to Naz. Possession number 41 for him.
Wanganeen Malera chips it out very wide. 982 metres gained as well. So trying to cross that 1,000 metres gained, which we've spoken about a lot with Naz. Now this year, we've tracked that. The Roos win it back on the wing. Stevens away to McKercher, to Daniels, to Daniel.
Clever.
To Sheasel, who gets it onto Simpkin. Now Spargo running through centre half forward. Kicks inside 50. And the mark taken by Curtis. 40 out on a 45-degree angle.
It's been a long way from a disastrous performance from the Kangaroos in terms of the gameplay. I mean, the opportunities they missed earlier are going to come back to haunt them. So there is some positive to this. And the game's not over just yet. It's not far off, but it's not over just yet. But there's a bit to like about the way they've moved the ball and just absolutely cut the Security defence to ribbons.
Paul Curtis, drop punt, very left.
That's not very good.
Not going to score, marking contest off hands and out of play. Throw in left forward pocket. Saints by 24. It's going to be another test that North Melbourne falls short of. Or fall short in as they go down to St Kilda again, unless they can pull a rabbit out of the hat.
If they had a Wanganeen Miller, you think they're half a chance. De Koning wins down the tap. Trembath does the roving. He tries to get a hand pass back. Misses Cooper Harvey, taken by Hall. Hand pass wide to Butler. Garcia tries to gather for the Saints. It's beaten to it by Jai Simpkin. Hand pass to Scott. Works it back to Charlie Comben, who's going all the way back to the wing to Aiden Kaur. So they reload to look back inside 50 and Kaur off the outside of the boot. Kicks looking for Spargo. Support away from him by Mason Wood. Garcia gathers. Hand pass to Owens. Feeds a hand pass to Hunter Clark. Underground hand pass along the turf to O'Connell. Gets it out wide. The hand pass to Hall. Sends it up to Ryan. He's out number 2 on 1 and Comben takes the mark for the Roos. Back to Zerha. Into the middle of the ground for Sheasel. The Saints are happy to have numbers behind the ball as he comes into the middle of the ground and Spargo marks.
He pokes it short for Sheasel. Sheasel just over the centre line. St Kilda by 24 points. Sheasel left foot kick inside 50. Larkey launching at it. Drops the mark and Hall's there to clean it up. Saints work it out off to Travalia. Out to Butler. It will just kick long in the Liam Ryan direction. Zerha comes across, punches it away. Has to go again at ground level. The Saints are there. Owens bumps into him, then wins the footy.
Well done,
Mitch Owens. Dumps it on the boot. High ball to full forward. Parker camps underneath it. Marks it full back there for North. Time against them now. They trail by 24.
McKercher gives the hand pass to Caleb Daniel, having got it from Parker. Back to the run of McKercher. Hand pass inboard. Spargo had to hit the break and trying to cut around a tackler. He loses possession. Taken back in the end by Caminiti. Hand pass to Travalia. Over the top to Filippo. Runs to 50 to finish it off. Misses. Out to the left-hand side.
Handy point.
A 24-point lead, now 25 points. But at the 22-minute mark, feels like the Kangas have fired their best shot.
You had Darling, a left half forward. McKercher was steaming through the middle there. Who knows if it was going to be enough, but he was all there by himself. Decided to handle to players under pressure.
Parker short to Finn O'Sullivan. Ports during the week, he turned down a mega offer from Tasmania. He'll stay at the Kangas, kicks up to Whitlock, falling down, drops the mark. Wood wins it back for the Saints, sweeping handball. Up to Garcia, pokes it inside 50. Higgins or Owens, big collision, Comben. He got Machito Owens, who's a little slow to get up. He was going back with courage. Both players down sore.
Good courage from Owens.
And Owens is back up and standing. Comben still down prone.
That was brave, wasn't it, from Owens?
Higgins tried to get in the way and just minimise the damage a little bit. He was coming to the kicker. Owens was launching back into it.
Might have been the back of Mitch Owens' head. No.
Caught one in the...
Maybe just in the old solar plexus.
Might be a burger with a lot.
Burger with a lot.
Oh dear. Might be multiples.
He's very sore, Charlie Comben. He gets up and is just assisted by the trainer as he trots off. Jack Higgins is going to come have a spell as well. Griffin Lowe will work back onto the ground.
Lockie Footscray off the SMS. Got some concerns about Griffin's performance.
Yep, posing some questions about the North Melbourne recruiting plan as well. Might get a chance to discuss that in the post-match.
So Mitch Owens is finally returned the football. Gemma Bastiani.
Straight down to the rooms for Charlie Comben with hands on hips, so we'll see. There's only 3 minutes left on the clock, so I wouldn't anticipate we'll see him again.
He's had 24 or 25 broken bones in his career. He says he's lost count, which is understandable when it gets that high, so...
That's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, that is a concern. Hopefully no broken bones in that incident. Cheeto Owens. Straight line in on goal, drop punt, puts a little cherry on top for the Saints fans. They'll be celebrating tonight. He's got a couple. And the Saints are in the top 10 on the live ladder. 13-15-93, plays 8-14-62. 31 points to the good. 25 minutes into the fourth.
Just been better in the bigger moments this afternoon, the Saints. I reckon the Kangaroos have had their chances, which we've touched on. And I don't think it's the Saints' best performance by any stretch of the imagination. But just when it's mattered most and things have had to happen, or they've had to make things happen, they're the ones that have been able to do it, as opposed to the Kangaroos. Now, when you've got Naz on your team, that's helpful. And he's had some sort of performance in the second half in particular.
How much do you think his 4 goals have been the difference between the two sides this afternoon?
I think it's the absolute difference. Because when they happened in that third term, when he kicked 3 of them, he was the one that set the game alight.
Definition of match winner today.
Yep.
Cooper Trembath wins down the tap, back in the middle of the ground, looking for Finn O'Sullivan. Taps it away from Darcy Wilson. Travalia races out to it at half-back for the Saints. Hand pass to Nasai Wangani Miller. Possession number 42. Gets it away to Mason Wood. Sends it up the wing. Caminiti the target. Can't take the mark. Sweating onto it. Clean pick up from Hall. Into the pocket. Here's flying Ryan. He takes the mark. No, he didn't.
Played on.
Umpire way, play on. Hit the ground and Griffin Lowe gathers. Hand pass away to McKercher. He looks to switch it for the Roos. Out to left half back, where Paul Curtis has worked up the ground. He marks and moves it quickly for the Roos. Stevens the target, running back with the flight. He takes the mark in front of the 2 benches. St Kilda by 31 points. On the verge of their 9th win of the season. Stevens veers out to the left. Sends it up towards Trembath, who goes for a fly. Can't come down with the footy. Hill in the end left it for Boxall. Hand pass to Mitch Owens. Kick smothered. Spills back to Boxall. Hand pass to Butler. Hand pass to Windhager at half back. Plenty of tired players. Feeds it back to Nasai Wangani Miller. Possession number 43. So he chips it into the back pocket. And Jack Silvani marks.
35 kicks in those. 43 disposals as well. Silvani goes back to Stocker. Short for Wilson. Saints happy to take a little bit of time out of the game. Wilson will thump it up to the wing. Tom De Koning and Sherry. Palmed down by De Koning cleverly. And Nasai Wangani Miller is onto it. Clever little dribble kick to Boxall. Handball back to Naz, who traps it. He'll chip it short, find Hall. He can play on, or he can give it back to Naz. Naz stops, props, cuts infield. He's corralled. So he just dabs it really short with the retreating kick. 1,064 metres gained for Naz. Might have lost a few with that kick. Goes back to Bradley Hill. Does Boxall after receiving it. And now they'll just chip it around you. I think the Saints, they lead by 31. 9th win of the season coming up. They're going to be in the 10.
Having a bit of a chat with someone in the crowd there, Naz.
Yep.
Hopefully it's all in good fun.
That record for metres game was Aaron Hall back in 2022 against the Adelaide Crows, 1,169. So he won't get that achievement this afternoon. Naz, 1,062.
Errol had 1,047 yesterday.
Yes, that's a good shout as well. So it's been the running half-backs who's dominated proceedings as the Saints just chip this around. Travalia takes the mark at right half-back. Travalia drives the kick inside 50 as the siren sounds and the Saints record their 9th win of the season. And with 4 rounds to play, they hold on the 10th spot. The only disappointment is Max King's return. After 2 years on the sideline at AFL level, he fails to see past 3 quarters. The Saints by 31 points. The Saints led by 16 points at quarter time. An inaccurate North Melbourne with 1 goal 5 in the opening quarter. By 4 points at half time, by 13 points at 3-quarter time. After the Roos took the lead early in the 3rd quarter before Nasai Wangani Miller took over the show. He finished with 4 goals in their 31-point win.
When the Saints go marching in, oh how I want to be with St Kilda.
Masai Wanganeen Miller led the way with 4 goals for St Kilda, 2 goals to Mitch Owen and to Higgins, while individuals to Darcy Wilson, Ryan, Caminiti, Burns and Boxall. While for North Melbourne, 3 goals to Jack Darling, 2 goals to Paul Curtis, individuals to Whitlock, Sheasel and Larkey. The day started with St Kilda losing 2 players before the game got underway. Cooper Sharman was a late out. He was managed. Dan Butler came in and Roll Marshall was out with back stiffness in the warm-up, meaning Anthony Caminiti came in. Despite all that chaos, St Kilda still brought their best. And in the opening quarter, they converted 4 goals to 1. The Kangas wrestled some of the momentum early in the third quarter. Messiah Wanganeen Miller finishes with 46 disposals, 4 goals, 5 clearances, 10 score involvements, 1,062 metres. It's going to be hard to miss in the votes for the ABC Footballer of the Year. The Saints by 31 points. That's what I said. You never know. Daniel Harper and Bob Murphy with their assessment on the Saints' 9th win of the season.
Well, I reckon this is the one for the Saints, or one of the ones for the Saints, Bob, that you get in the rooms, you sing the song, and you say, right, I'll take the points and we'll learn a fair bit from this. These are the great days of footy where you're not at your best, but you get the points and you learn with a win as opposed to having to learn after a loss. I don't think they were overly dominant in this contest. I think the Kangas looked really good in certain phases of the game, but as we touched on before, that in the big moments when the game needed to have something happen to get advantage and get dominance in the contest or the situation, St Kilda did it. And it was largely Naz in that second half that changed the game. So a lot to like about his performance. Like that first half he got a lot of the footy, didn't have a lot of massive impact. Second half he went bananas. It was awesome to watch. It was just awesome to see the way that he dominated that game in the second half. Alistair Clark's to be sitting there going, bloody hell. Geez, we had these blokes. If we just had nailed our chances early, we could have put all sorts of scoreboard pressure on them. And the whole game changes on the back of that. The whole game changed. The way that St Kilda play, they have chased the score, chased the game, and the confidence you get from the Kangaroos' perspective to just keep on keeping on. So there's lessons to learn for them as well. They've got to do it without the points. But I reckon both teams walk away with a heap to discuss on the Monday review.
There was a parallel universe today where the Kangaroos got over the line.
Yep.
Their good footy today looked really, really sharp. And their development as a team is happening. Today could go down as a missed opportunity. And for St Kilda, they would be a little bit concerned about how easily North Melbourne were able to move the ball at times. They sliced them open for big chunks of today. They didn't capitalise enough on that ball movement. And Nazai, he was the difference in the end in the third quarter where he just completely erupted. That is the definition of match winner. And his dominance and brilliance is reliable. He does it so consistently.
Yeah.
But you can't rely on one man to get you over the line every week. As good as he is, that's where we're still at with St Kilda of are they deep enough? Are they consistent enough across the board? Do they get enough from everyone? Because they get so much from him, but I'm not sure if they get enough from the 23 out there every single week. But they won, they go into the 10, and they are starting to gel. You can see it. Jack Silvani looks comfortable. Tom de Koning was solid today, maybe even better than solid. You can see it happening. It's developing and growing. We'll see what shape it can get to between now and finals time.
If you're trying to work it out in a historical sense, so Swamp Thing is always great for this on X. He says, Messiah Wanganeen Miller is just the 6th player in the AFL era to have 40 disposals and 4 goals. So he joins the likes
Junior
of Gary Ablett Jr., who did it twice in 2012, Gold Coast Suns against North Melbourne, 2011, the Gold Coast Suns against Adelaide. No Dane Swan. Joe Masiti did it.
Joey! Smoking Joey!
2000 for the Bombers against North Melbourne. Mark Rasciuto did it in 2000 for the Adelaide Crows against Port Adelaide.
Yeah.
And Wayne Campbell,
Walker,
the one I wouldn't have had on the list, did it in 1992, Richmond against Carlton. So just the 6th player, Messiah Wanganeen Miller, to have 40 disposals and 4 goals in a game in the AFL era.
Good on you, Walker.
Yeah, well done, Wayno.
He was a Wednesday night basketball teammate of mine.
Was he?
Many moons ago. We had the best team.
What was his style like? Was he...
Nuggety.
Nuggety?
Yeah, no, did like to go from range, though.
Oh,
not many went in.
No, that's not amateur basketball stuff.
But when you've got Steve Alessio and Brendan Lade, Matthew Richardson down low in the post.
In the paint,
you had some support.
Yeah.
We had the best fun. It was great fun.
Something the conversation, given he's out of contract at the end of the next season, Naz, is how much money can they pay him to try and keep him? And yet, for so much of St Kilda's future, it centres around him. He is the centrepiece of it all, despite the injury to Max King after 3 quarters today.
I don't know how you price him because he's the difference.
Just give him anything he wants.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it. You just got to fit him in somehow, find a way to make it happen and keep him happy because he's the key to this whole thing. And that's, to your point, by the way, it's a really good point, that it's unsustainable. It's not a premiership model.
No.
It's going to win you some games because he's just so good and so different. And they're clearly trying to support him with some of the young talent coming through. And Garcia didn't have his best game today, but he's been good. And Wilson's a ripper. They've got to keep him. Hall, we love. So they've got some guys around the contest, around the edges of the square and inside the square that are going to support him.
Yeah.
But it's not a premiership model just with Naz. You've got to find more support.
It doesn't mean it's wrong for now, though.
No.
I loved the way they used him. It's hard to know who's using Naz or if Naz is just doing it himself. But I loved the way that we saw him in different modes, full forward, in the centre square, half back. He gave us all the colours of the Naz rainbow today, and it was beautiful to watch. So as St Kilda develops, you would think that would be their plan, that the reliance on him to explode in the third quarter to get you over the line won't be as extreme.
Saints fans don't want to ponder what they'd be like without him. They're winners today by 31 points. They hold 10th spot on the AFL ladder, 9 wins and 10 losses. Let's join the Saints with Gemma Bastiardi.
There are plenty of fans here in the rooms for them. Pretty enthusiastic, but they're relatively subdued for what is a relatively important win. They're getting in the circle now to sing the song.
Can you see Max King there, Gem?
I cannot.
That's disappointing for him, not in the song.
Yeah.
After 2 years of not featuring at AFL level.
Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Oh, how I want to be in St Kilda. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Go marching in. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Oh, how I want to be in St Kilda. Oh, when the Saints go marching in.
So the Saints winners by 31 points here at Docklands to close round 20 of the AFL. They're in 4th spot. They're in 10th place on the AFL ladder with 4 rounds to play. 13-15-93 to North Melbourne. 8-14-62 in front of 25,523 fans on a Sunday afternoon here at Docklands.
Just looking at some of the numbers, just to summarise the performance and some of the areas that the Kangaroos can really go to work, and the Saints had their measure today. They were plus 39 for contested possession, 139 to 100. Contest and clearance is pretty important in modern day footy. Clearance, they're 41 to 23, so plus 18. The Saints out of the centre, plus 13, 19 to 6. That's an absolute smacking in that regard. So that's a real problem for the Kangaroos. Great for the Saints, 58 to 44 inside forward 50s. And Mark's inside 50 was interesting. And we talked all at the start of the game about whether or not the Kangas were going to be good enough for long enough, and that was going to be the test. Could they go the journey? And all the fourth quarter stats, contested possession, uncontested possession, which they'd been dominant in early in the game, uncontested marks, clearances, inside 50s, tackles. In the last quarter, they had 4 tackles, the Kangas. Centre clearances, marks inside 50, all went in the way of the Saints. Now, the Saints, at three-quarter time, in terms of marks inside forward 50, it was 17 to 8. They had 9 to 3 in the last quarter. So they were just better for longer. They
ran out of puff, the Kings.
Yeah. Everything went right, not went right for them. Everything went their way because they were able to last the journey. And that's the challenge for the Kangaroos. And we talked about it pre-game, that they don't currently have the capacity to go from the starting siren to the finishing siren and have the same level of energy and competency at this level just yet. They have their moments, but they can't
just yet. Not too far away.
Yeah,
I don't think it's too far away for the Kangas.
There's a bit to like, but the Saints are more experienced, more seasoned, and in the end they're able to stamp themselves in the second half. And there's only so many times we can talk about Naz, but he did lead the charge incredibly.
So the Saints 2 games behind Geelong, who are in 9th spot. Collingwood are in 8th, so they're a half a game better. And the Western Bulldogs, who are in 7th spot, they're 12 wins and 7 losses. For the next 4 weeks for St Kilda, it does get harder. They have Sydney, Carlton, which is going to become such a curious game, given the fact that the two sides are almost fighting for that last spot. Richmond and the Gold Coast Suns. So probably out of those
It's not
four.
Pretty good draw.
Bit of a mixed bag there.
It's
opportunity
Sydney
there.
and Carlton are the ones you'd start to think, I'm stressed about if I'm Ross. I'm not stressed about Richmond or the Gold Coast.
No.
That
Now,
Gold Coast Suns game, all of a sudden, this could be anything.
Who knows what's going to go on there, but I'm not stressed about them if I'm Ross.
Well, last round Suns, if they're, as you would think, not a chance,
no,
they might be. They might just limp into the last game of the year.
What a fascinating footy club,
aren't they? They were a footy club for about 12 months, and they're back to being a franchise.
That's good.
Yep.
That's about spot on, I reckon.
The Max King conversation we'll come back to. Let's head down to the St Kilda rooms with Gemma Bastiardi. We got you there, Gem?
Can you hear me?
Got you
there
now.
We go.
Loud and clear.
Max Hall has been kind enough to join us today. Max, how important is getting a win like that under your belt and just keep your season moving?
Yeah, definitely. I think the ladder's extremely tight now, and there's only sort of four weeks to go after today. So keep stacking wins, and we should hopefully make the wild card.
There seems to be a bit of resilience about your group. You were a bit almost the walking wounded today with the number of you that came off needing a bit of attention. Is there that resilience building in your group?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Rowe went down just before the first bounce, and he's been pivotal to us in the last sort of month. So he was a big out, but I think it's just next man up mentality. And we've been working really hard on everyone knowing the system, and Kama came in late and played his role really well.
Is there also a sense that your history, you didn't have the easiest run here, so you kind of have built that resilience and that fits kind of within this group?
Yeah, I think if you look around, there's actually a lot of boys that have got here the hard way. So, I think there's a lot of resilience. You only got to look as far as our two captains, who were both rookies, and now they're going on to be captains, all Australians. So, there's definitely heaps of resilience.
I'm going to throw you upstairs now. We've got Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford in the experts' chairs.
Max, Daniel Harford, mate, well done. You're officially one of our men. You're in our stable. You're our man, Max, when you're playing for the Saints. We love you.
Appreciate that.
So, well done to you and the boys today. It was a fascinating game because we felt, and I'm keen to get your take, we felt that the Kangas had heaps of looks and put you under a fair bit of pressure, certainly in transition today. How did you see it?
Yeah, I think credit to them. The first half was really fast, not many stoppages. And I think after half-time we were able to control the ball a bit more, uncontested marks, and we probably got on top a little bit around clearances, and having Tommy back was massive for us.
So you absolutely smacked them at clearance, 41-23 clearance and 18-6, 19-6 out of the centre. Was it, sometimes when you go into games and you look about areas of the ground that you've got to win, you've got to dominate, was that the one area that you thought you had to against this Kangaroos midfield?
Yeah, I think it's a fundamental of every week, really. You've got to win the ball first at the source. So, they've got some really good young midfielders in Sheasel and O'Sullivan who have had cracking years. And then LDU, he's just a star. And for Huey Boxall to come in, hasn't really played many games this year, and play a role on him, I thought he was super.
And what about Naz? We have to ask you about Naz. I mean, he's at 45, he's kicked 4. It's a pretty good day at the office.
Oh, ridiculous. He just he does things that, front row seats, game day, is pretty cool to sit back and watch him, but it's credit to him because behind closed doors he's always working on his game. So, he's an absolute star.
Does he feel the weight of expectation? Because if he's that dominant that if he doesn't do it, it does create a bit of a hole for you guys.
Yeah, I think, I guess he's just knows his role and he's really good at it. And then us around him, he's a remarkable ball user. So if any time we get to give the ball to him, it benefits us. So, for us, it's if there's an opportunity to give him the ball, a lot of the time he does some good things with it. So give him the ball.
Max, Bob Murphy up here, mate. Well done on the win and your form, not just for today, but for the season. You've had an absolute ripping season. I think all footy fans were watching the game today, but also thinking about one of your teammates, Max King. Are you able to give us some insight into where he's at? Can you see him? Is there been any information around on how his hamstring is pulled up?
No, I don't have too much. I was on the bench when he came off, and I just heard that he may have had a little bit of hamstring awareness, but that's about as far as I know. So fingers crossed for him. It's just tightness, and he'll be right because he's had a horrific run, and it was really good to see him back out there. So hopefully it's best case scenario.
Yeah, fingers crossed. You have to be pretty emotionally agile in the AFL with the amount that was going on today, Max. So you lost Rowan Marshall before the game. What was the coach's message as you're getting ready to play, just to let you know that the big fella was out?
Yeah, I think as I touched on earlier, it's just next man up mentality. Rowe's been massive for us all year, and yeah, he's one of our leaders, and he sort of gets us going in the midfield. So no doubt it was a big loss for us, but for Kammer to come in pretty short notice and play a role was awesome for us.
Max, I'm with Huff, one of my favourites, watching you play. Just on the pre-game address, when Ross did call you guys in and speak about that, what did he sort of say to the group?
Yeah, he just said control the controllables, and obviously it's not ideal with someone like Rowe going out, but yeah, as we touched on before around stoppage and clearance, let's just get back to contest, pressure, win the ball at source, get it forward, and control what we can control. And yeah, I thought the first sort of half was a bit of an arm wrestle, but then after half time we were really able to get on top in that space.
Last one from me. We know a lot about your story, sort of out of the league side for Box Hill in the VFL. Like when that happened, did you actually believe or think that you could be the player that you are right now at AFL level?
Probably not. I probably didn't look too far ahead, to be honest. It was always a dream of mine, but yeah, I had a lot of work to do. Yeah, through those years that I just focused on what I could control at the time, and yeah, I feel like over time I've just kept taking steps forward, and then yeah, getting to the Saints, they've just put so much trust in giving me a role and just allowing me to do it, and yeah, forever grateful for them giving me the opportunity.
Max, the old man, Brad, I came across him in local footy when he was dominating for Vermont.
Yep.
Is he involved in footy anywhere?
He's not anymore. He was for a long time. He used to coach a lot of my junior footy and rep sides and that, so he was involved in a lot of my footy early days, but no, he's not anymore.
Oh, it's disappointing. He's giving up on the game and giving up on you. I'm pretty flat about that for you.
Max, it's Matt Clinch here. We love hearing your story. Is it true you're on the cattle farm in Yea when you did get the phone call to say you were going to be selected in the mid-season draft? You're one of 7 players who's played every game this season, so just your remarkable rise in the last couple of years.
Yeah, no, it is true. I was working the day of the draft and finished pretty late, about I think it was around 6 o'clock, and I think not long after that I was on the way home and heard it on the radio. So yeah, that's how I found out, which is pretty awesome. So I had to ring my grandpa and let him know I wasn't coming back.
What sort of work was it, Max? Was it like fencing, hay baling?
Oh, literally. That's the one thing I love about farming, is just such a variety of stuff. Every day is different. I love all the animal husbandry side of things, so anything cattle, sheep related was what I did, so it's good fun.
And of course he was working. You work every day on the cattle farm, Bob.
There's no days off.
I asked what type of
I know,
work.
just saying.
No days off, mate. These are real workers.
Now, Max, as we let you go, as you look around the St Kilda change rooms, who's the last of your teammates you call for a helping hand on the cattle farm?
What a great question.
It would be a tight race between Marcus Windhager and Mitch Owens. I don't think they've left the Beau Morris bubble yet, so yeah, it'd be a tight race between them two.
Beautifully handled, Max Hall. Thanks for your time. Congratulations on the win today. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Max Hall, we love hearing those stories about regional Victoria, and for our listeners who spend so much of their life on the road listening into the footy coverage, he is one of the good stories. Picked up in the 2024 mid-season draft, as Ben made the story, experiences Box Hill being dropped, questioning whether he's good enough to play at this level. Well, since getting that chance, he has not looked back, and he's finished with 19 goals for the season through his 19 games, but his versatility now going in the midfield alongside Nasai Mangane-Miller to play a role for this St Kilda side.
He's powerful. He's fit and he's powerful, and those are the guys that who don't get that look as a normal part of the pathway program, have to work for it a bit more. They're the ones you fall in love with as teammates, I reckon, Bob. You'd probably be similar. They're the ones that they just respect the opportunity so much. They had to work so hard for it. They just commit everything to it, and they get the most out of themselves every time.
There's an undeniable link, isn't there?
Yep.
Those guys coming in as mature age recruits it means more. There's the air is a bit thinner for them. They've seen what it's like to miss out on that opportunity, and the worth that they have in the locker room. So I can just imagine in St Kilda what a Max Hall, his approach to the footy and the price he puts on the value of each day and each training session and each game is infectious and has a huge leadership value in that locker room for for the teammates around him.
Yeah, it's great perspective. They come in with better perspective because they see the real world. They see the opportunity, the privilege that it is to be a part of this as an AFL player.
We had Jack Redpath, who had done a couple of knees and had been he'd been a tradesman for, I think, like a good 5 or 6 years.
The Kyneton
Zone. And there was a couple of times I remember pre-season days where a couple of the younger players who were high draft picks and, on good money and life was pretty good, they'd sort of have a bit of a whinge about what was on for pre-season that day. And Jack just launched into them about how lucky we are to get to do what we get to do. And we would sit there as veterans and leaders at the time, sit back and go, that is worth 10 times what some of the older players could have offered. It's like, the older blokes are sort of, pulling
being grumpy
the line.
again,
Yeah, but one of their own saying, you're kidding yourself. We've won the lottery of life here.
Yeah.
Worth its weight in gold.
Yep, absolutely. He's a beauty. Big Brad, his old man, was at Melbourne for a couple of years. Played a couple of years in the twos there at Melbourne before he dominated local footy.
Vermont, good footy club, very, very successful.
4 flags for Big Brad. 4 flags.
Four-time.
He's a 4-time.
One short
Is this-
experiment.
Is
That's
this
Max's dad.
Max's dad, yeah.
Yep.
I didn't know if we were talking about Jack Redpath's dad now or Max's dad. I was genuinely confused.
Back to Max.
St Kilda 31-point winners
man.
over North Melbourne, 13-15, 93 to the Kangas, 8-14, 62. So as St Kilda fans are making their way home, Max King, who injured his hamstring in the VFL on May 2nd, we were there half as St Kilda were playing Carlton at Princes Park. The Saints made the decision to put him through a 12-week recovery process, including spending 3 weeks on the Gold Coast with his brother, Ben. The decision was then made to come straight back into the AFL rather than feature at VFL level. He lasted, 3 quarters, 2.5?
35-minute game time.
Had 2 disposals, including 1 kick, 1 hand pass, and a shot in the second quarter from the right forward pocket, and went across the face of goal. And his long-awaited return to AFL level, which was 756 days in the making, finishes before the full-time siren. How should St Kilda fans feel about it? Out of the game with hamstring tightness. We all hope the scans are going to clear him of any significant damage, but it's the fear that when you started this approach, that what happens if he doesn't get through the game?
We're still in the unknown phase here. So it would be naive to think you could miss that much footy and come back in and just go, just be totally fine, and you get through and play 4 quarters. So
that's what I don't get.
The ranking of it. So hamstring awareness. That's what St Kilda supporters would be wanting to hear tomorrow. There was just some awareness. We decided to be cautious. If hamstring awareness, the increase to that would be hamstring tightness. Okay, that can be okay. Then if we start getting into strain, then we're starting getting into tear territory.
Yeah.
Then that's really, really problematic.
Well, the other part is, Ben, all too well, as some players like Max Holmes are very sensitive to their body and quite aware when they feel like they've suffered a hamstring injury, and it's sometimes only the scan process that clears them of any wrongdoing. He could easily fall into that category given how tightly scrutinised his body has been, Max King, over the last 2 years.
Yeah, and hopefully it's we're catastrophising a little bit of the whole situation. He's fine. But history says it's going to be a bit of a problem. If they got him off the ground midway through the third, they wouldn't do that, considering what they would have wanted him to do in terms of minutes for the game, because they managed that pretty well for the first 3 quarters, 2.5 quarters. They're managing that pretty well. You and I know as well as anyone, Bob, that you cannot replace or replicate the match day intensity.
No.
Yep.
From a training session and your data and your GPS and all that stuff that the modern athlete goes through, the high performance stuff. You cannot replicate. Nothing will ever replicate what you do out there on the ground. In AFL conditions, even the VFL stuff, we've seen that too.
Mm-hmm.
So now I hope he's fine. But if he's not, I cannot get my head around why I can, because it's all chips in, and that's what they've done for this game to make the 10, give him a wildcard berth, all that sort of stuff. But the risk versus reward doesn't seem to stack up.
Well, I don't know if the timeline was as desperate.
Yeah.
If it plays out the way we don't want it to, I don't know if the timeline was that desperate. What about a fortnight at the VFL?
Yep.
I'm not so sure.
That'll be the question that we put to Ross Lyon, no doubt, in the press conference. I think we can head back down to Gemma Bastiati.
Here with Caleb Daniel, who's been nice enough to join us. Caleb, does it feel a bit frustrating that you constantly getting so close but just not getting over the line?
Yeah, it's very frustrating. I think, we're playing some half-decent footy for periods of the game, and then some pretty poor footy for 15, 20 a quarter, and that's costing us. So yeah, it is quite frustrating. I think sometimes we're doing the same thing over and over again, and it's not necessarily holding us in good stead. So I've got to look to change a few things, and the positive is we're in games up to sort of our eyeballs, and the frustration is not capitalising on some of our opportunities.
You've been here in some pretty dark moments as well. Is this a more frustrating position to be in, or where you're never in it?
I think I'd rather be in the game, up to our eyeballs, like I said, and in it at three-quarter time and for 3 quarters, and playing some decent footy. I think it is, albeit frustrating to not be able to capitalise on some of our opportunities and really take the game, by the horns, I guess. But I'd rather be in the game and being able to compete with all teams, and I think that's been a massive improvement from this year. It's just like we've talked about, it's frustrating to not be able to capitalise.
I'll throw you upstairs. Our experts are Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford.
G'day, Caleb. It's your old teammate Bob here, mate. Bad luck today. You had a really good performance yourself. Just with the ball movement, I feel like, you've made a name for yourself by using the angles and taking teams on and having a bit more of an appetite for risk. Felt like in the first half, maybe some of your teammates didn't quite share that appetite as much as they did in the second half, and you really opened up St Kilda for big chunks of the second half today.
Yeah, good to hear from you, Bobby. I think that's a frustrating thing as well. I think we really look to explode and take the ball open side and change the angles and these sort of things. So I guess for someone like myself who's playing off that half-back shoulder, and when we become predictable and we're able to do that, we look really dangerous. And it's just it's a little bit frustrating when we are taking it open side and then we go long down the line, or the balls we get checked and we don't look inside and these sort of things. So that's a young team, that's guys not necessarily maybe having the confidence to be able to really attack the game, but like we showed and like you mentioned, we're able to cut teams apart when we do play our game plan, and it's just being able to do it, like you said, more consistently and for 4 quarters. And I truly believe once we get into that and once we have the confidence to do that, the game will really break apart for us.
Some set shot goal kicking on the radar for your forwards this week, Caleb, because that first half it really cost you guys. You were doing so much right, and the skipper's having a fair bit of trouble in front of the goals. Are you doing enough work, and is it time to get a bit creative with other methods to get it right?
We're doing a lot of work. The boys have, they're putting in a mountain of work, and Sylvie, he's having a little bit of trouble there, and he's just got to get back to being really confident in his ability to strike the footy. And I love what he does, love what he brings to the team. His contest has been huge, so it's just the icing on the cake, I guess, to be able to kick those ones through the big sticks. And it might be time to chuck a blindfold on or something, try and get a little bit creative and see how they go. But I know that they're putting in the work. We've made some commitments throughout for the back end of the season, and they're really putting in the work. So I can't fault them there. And once they sail through, it's going to get a lot more confidence through the group.
Caleb, Daniel Harford, mate, bad luck today. A bit with Bob, we really enjoyed you and got the ball in the back half, and you're able to move the ball and just cut up the St Kilda defence. It was fantastic. The marks inside 50 were unbelievable in your favour until 3/4 time. I'm interested in the debrief from Clarko. Have you spoken to him yet?
We haven't spoken to him yet. I think I'll get the hurry up in a little bit to head in there, and I might chuck my helmet back on and see how we go. But fingers crossed it's not too bad. But like you said, we are able to move the footy when we play our brand. So it's an exciting brand when we get it right, and when we do it, consistently. It's going to be a challenge for Oppo.
We saw Finn O'Sullivan go to Naz at the start of the day. That was the plan, to try and limit him. Was that like a heavy tag, or was it just a bit of a run with and see what happens type role? Because he'd end up with 45 and 4. It's a pretty good day.
Yeah, he's had a fair day there, Naz. It's probably pretty nice to be able to, one centre bounce. He was playing full forward, and I think we won the centre bounce, and he took the kick out when we missed.
Yeah.
So, being able to play, a role where you're able to run sort of anywhere and do anything, it's a real challenge to tag. And I think, albeit he's had a fair day. Foss is a second-year player. He's going to learn so much, and he's such a selfless team player. And for a second-year player to sort of take that on the chin and look to take out one of their main strengths or their main strength. It shows a lot of courage to be able to do that in your second year. So I'll tip my lid to Foss, and Naz, he got the better of us today, but I think we'll be better in the future for having that ability to run with him and learn from him. And there's going to be a time when Foss is getting tagged, I think. So look forward to turning the tables on them.
And that's a good point. Relatively inexperienced, particularly around the ball today, to a large degree compared to the Saints. And we were talking before the game about whether or not it's almost as simple as being good enough for long enough. Is there an element of that that's real for you from what you see? Yeah,
there is definitely an element of that. I think, like I've talked about in this interview, I guess we're doing it for a fair chunk of the game. It's letting us down 15, 20, a whole quarter sort of thing. So it's that old, if you can string four quarters together, you're going to be in the game, and you're probably a fair chance to win it. So that is the frustrating side. It's we get to three-quarter time where I don't know, I think we were level or a goal down or something like that, and then blows out to 30 points. So being an older player, you get a little bit frustrated when we don't sort of stick to the basics or stick to our plans. And that's essentially it, I think. St Kilda were the better team. I think they beat us, plus 30 contested footy, which is usually a strength of ours. So they probably beat us at our own game. And, like I said, tip the lid to them, and they got the better of us today.
How's the pooch?
He's good. He's probably kicking it now. He's had 2 knee recos, so, he's going all right.
2 knee recos?
What have you got? What type of little dog?
No, not a little dog. I got a Rottweiler.
A Rottweiler, okay.
Compensating.
Check him out on the gram, Clinchy.
Okay.
He's a beauty.
I'll do that. Caleb, thanks as always for your time. I'll let you go.
Oh, thanks, guys. Cheers.
Caleb Daniel, good enough to give us some of his time after St Kilda's 31-point victory. Yeah, you showed me a baby pup photo, and now it's a full-grown Rottweiler. Rottweiler, one of the two.
He's a beauty. He's had 2 recos, though. That's a setback for him. He's not going to play many more games.
Not the most cheap exercise when you have to take the dogs in for the surgery. St Kilda winners by 31 points, 13-15-93 to North Melbourne, 8-14-62. Did a pretty good job, Caleb Daniel, of just giving us a little emotional insight as to how the Roos players are feeling, a bit of frustration about their inability to take that next step. Nasai Wanganeen-Miller, ability to take the game away from them, despite the challenges of Finn O'Sullivan throughout the afternoon. And now the challenges don't get any easier. They have Hawthorn next week.
Yeah, there's plenty of hope. Plenty of hope for North Melbourne. They're good. Their good stuff is really promising. They're a fun team to watch. They sound like they're having fun playing footy together. So I don't think it'll be too long before they put it all together. They've got a few bits they need to work on, and there's still some holes in their lineup. But I think they can hold their heads reasonably high after today's effort.
Yeah, they'll be frustrated. And I might put my helmet back on to go and chat to Clarko, because he'd be annoyed. He would be annoyed, because there was some really a great opportunity for them to stamp themselves today.
8 and 11, Hawthorn, Footscray, Geelong, Sydney to come.
Hawthorn,
Footscray, Geelong, Sydney. Okay. So they could lose their last 4.
Oh,
that's possibly the worst run you could have.
Yep. Don't let the saloon door hit you on the backside on the way out.
There's not too many more wins coming, is there? Really?
Nasai Wanganeen-Miller are 46 disposals, as Mitch Turner reminds us. Equal career high for him, and the second time he's done so this season. The other one against the Bombers in round 17. The votes for the ABC Football of the Year. Do you need some thinking time, Daniel Harford?
30 seconds. Haven't even thought about it. Well, we know who the 3 are going to. That's the easy bit.
Yep. I'll rattle off the ladder. Fremantle sit on top. They have a 3-game break on Sydney with 4 rounds to play. The Swans 14 wins and 5 losses. Hawthorn in 3rd spot. They're 13 wins and 5 losses. And the Brisbane Lions with their victory over Port Adelaide today, a 59-point victory. Will Ashcroft got the 3 votes in the ABC Footballer of the Year. The Lions in 4th spot, 13 wins and 6 losses. And then the intrigue, Bob, from 5th all the way through to 8th, are separated by just percentage. 12 wins and 7 losses, led by Adelaide in 5th position, Melbourne in 6th, the Western Bulldogs in 7th, and Collingwood 8th. So Collingwood are that half a game clear of Geelong in 9th position, 11 wins and 8 losses, and the Saints now and the Blues are fighting for that wild card position. St Kilda 9 wins and 10 losses. The Blues likewise, but the Blues percentage is 92.4, a game further back, the Giants and the Kangas. Makes for almost the dream wildcard scenario for the AFL if they can get St Kilda to squeeze in, Collingwood and Geelong in that position, and your Doggies and the Demons have an interesting run to September for sides that need to keep winning to ensure they're there.
It's all shaping pretty well, isn't it? It's shaping up really nicely for an exciting finish to this home and away season. Still not sure how many genuine contenders there are for the flag itself.
So it all gets underway on Thursday night for round 21. Collingwood taking on Geelong from the MCG, a blockbuster Thursday night. Your Bulldogs, Bob, they travel west to take on the Fremantle Dockers, the toughest task in footy. The Saints take on Sydney. Benny, you'll be here at Docklands for that clash.
Yeah, Bob's saying they're his Dockers as well. The gold dust sprinkled over three years over there is still lingering.
It's hard to argue.
What I'll be saying is I'll be waiting to see what happens. And then
declaring my hand.
The JL Whisperer. He can't lose, Murphy, in that contest. Hawthorn and North Melbourne from Launceston in the Saturday 1:35 time slot. Port Adelaide and GWS, the Blues, take on the Brisbane Lions from Docklands on Saturday night. And then the Sunday fixtures, Richmond taking on West Coast. Adam Uze's side desperately needs a win, and Minnie McWalter will have that one circled. There's the pressure in the West to try and get some W's. The Gold Coast Suns and the Demons from Carrara and Essendon take on Adelaide in the 4:40 slot. That might be us.
Is that sleep in?
That might be us.
Is that sleep in for Sleepy
to
Bob?
be negotiated.
Might have to get in touch with the manager to see if he's available.
I was
The
off
votes.
a spell though, wasn't I?
You're fresh, yeah.
So there's got a lot to be said for sharpening of the axe. I just keep chopping away. Got to sharpen the blade occasionally.
There's a couple of our team that could be rotated out at some stage as well. St Kilda by 31 points. The votes for the ABC Footballer of the Year.
Well, let's start at the top because we know it's going to be. So Nazai Wanganeen Miller takes the 3 votes.
Could have almost got 4 votes. The system holds him back today.
I thought I did think about giving him all 6.
It's actually only... Yeah, no, it is all 6. Sorry, bad moment for me.
Oh, gee whiz.
I was about to say.
The human
The
abacus.
Coaches Association Awards.
You know when you said
The
you wanted
human
to
abacus.
rotate people in and out?
We need an axe sharpener.
I need my axe sharpened. I need a rest.
Get the grinder out,
please.
I'm 2 from 2 on the golf course against him, and all of a sudden
Oh.
interrupting with
Even
non-facts.
with the yips, it's unbelievable.
Dominant force, you were an absolute spent force.
Went to water, didn't I?
As soon as I got to the first 2, you were gone.
3 to Naz,
Three to
which was
Naz.
the obvious. 2 to...
2 to Darcy Wilson. He's becoming one of my favourite players. I thought he's brilliant again. He's a real link player for the Saints. Impacts forward to the contest as well. What did he end up with? 28. That's a good day for Darcy. 6 ground balls, 4 clearances, 6 score involvements, and a snag for Darcy. 8 score involvements, sorry. So he gets the 2 votes. And I've given a vote. I like giving some support to the guys behind the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think Jack Silvani
Yes.
deserves a vote today. He did a great job on the skipper, Nick Larkey, for the Kangaroos. He didn't lose. I don't think he lost a one-on-one all day. Provided some drive from them from half-back as well. Just got in the right spot at the right time and just does the simple thing often and well. And it just makes such a difference when you rely on a player like that behind the ball. He's got Cal Wilkie riding shotgun in that regard. And I just thought Jack Silvani can have a vote for us today after a fine performance for the Saints behind the ball.
He was a good player at Carlton. I feel like he's twice the player at St Kilda this year.
It's funny
certainly
what a
had a
fresh
huge
start
impact.
does.
He is. I was a fan of him at Carlton, but he has been super this year.
Sharpen the axe a bit, did he? Or?
Although imagine going alongside and playing with Cal Wilkie.
Yeah, that
just
would
to
be helpful,
feel like all of a sudden, you got a teammate who's going to support you there. Not to say that Jacob Wiedering didn't do that at Carlton. Jack had his problems with his body, but
Yeah, but he was in the ruck and he was forward, he was back. I feel like St Kilda they've put him in the best spot for him.
Yep, they've locked him in, and he's absolutely repaid them so far. It's been a fantastic signing.
3 to Nasai Wanganeen Miller, 2 to Darcy Wilson, and 1 to Jack Silvani from Daniel Harford in the votes. In the ABC Footballer of the Year, St Kilda's 31-point victory over North Melbourne, 13-15-93 to 8-14-62 in front of 25,523 fans. We're hoping for the AFL fixture for the final 2 rounds will be released in the next 48 hours. So we'll try and work out what will take place. One of the questions will be around the wildcard finals as to how they make sure there is enough breaks for those sides that do feature in round 24. We could also have an announcement around the AFL State of Origin from the WA government as to what that might look like for the future going forward. So there's a couple of announcements we're hoping to hear in the next few days, which might pan out for the rest of the home and away season. Thank you, Harf. Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, Kane.
We'll wait to hear from you, Bob, whether we'll see you next Sunday.
Yeah,
thanks to Jemmy Bastiardi. Thanks to Stuart Hollywood-Baker. Thank you, Benny. Of course, the podcast with you and Daniel Harford to come tomorrow morning for your drive to work. Thanks to Mitch Turner back at base. The Saints in a 10th spot on the AFL ladder. They had a 31-point win over North Melbourne this afternoon. We can't wait for your company in next weekend for round 21 of the AFL. Farewell from Docklands. The Saints too strong this afternoon.